Welcome. Oh, settle down. All right. Hello and welcome to Penguin Live, where we bring you the most amazing, creative, and inventive magic in the entire world. And we have with us someone who is so versatile and so clever, you're just not going to believe the things you're about to see. He is a full-time performer and has been for over 30 years. He currently does over 200 shows a year. He's a prolific inventor who has more than 80 marketed items out right now and multiple publications. You probably already have some of the stuff. He's done both magic and mentalism. The thing that sets him apart, that makes me so excited that we're going to see his stuff right now, is that his ideas are very devious and yet very doable for absolutely anybody. And he's going to show us exactly how everything's done, exactly how to make everything that he's doing. So please welcome the always clever Devin Knight.
Please don't stop. Well, I had to really think. I have so many things to show you, and I said, what do I start with? What can I do that people will really like? So I'm going to show you my trademark item, probably one of my best-selling items ever. It's my auto bend spoon. I'll dim them for you, and then I will tell you how to make one yourself. And then I'll give you a little brief history behind this trick. First of all, this uses a real spoon. Okay, now we got better sound here. And what's going to happen is this spoon is going to bend, and it's not going to leave your sight. I'm going to hold just my fingertips here. You, sir, you're off the camera, but you can see the spoon here. Yeah. I can make the spoon bend three ways, really. I can make the bowl bend, the stem, or I can make it bend in the middle. The choice is completely yours, and the spoon will never leave your sight. I will not touch the spoon. I will not do anything sneaky. I will just use the powers of my mind to cause it to bend. So, would you like the stem, the middle, or the bowl?
The bowl.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, watch this. The stem is not going to move, but I'm going to try to use my mental powers. I think the bowl is moving. Can you see it?
Yeah.
See, no wires, no strings. And notice, as I said, the stem never moves. You ask for the bowl to bend, and look, I'm actually making it bend back on itself. And look, the spoon is completely solid, completely bent in the middle. Now I'm going to show you something really amazing. Watch this. The spoon becomes rubbery. Now I know what you're thinking. That's the old rubber pencil illusion. But look, no, actually look, the spoon here, it's actually beginning to bend. Look at that. Just say break anytime you like. Break. And look, the spoon actually breaks into two pieces. And if you do this in a restaurant, when you're done, you can leave the spoon for examination because there's nothing to find. It's completely unprepared. That's called auto bend spoon, and I'm going to show you how to make this up. Actually, there is a gimmick, and the gimmick, if we can zoom in here, maybe you'll be able to see this. The gimmick is a little piece of rubber tubing here. Now, this is very easy to find because this rubber tubing, if you go to Walmart or any pet store, it's sold as airline tubing for the inside of the fish tank. It's like $1.50. You get like 20 feet of it. That's all you use. You also need a spoon, which you take a pair of pliers or something, you bend it back and forth, or just metal cutters, and just cut the spoon into two pieces. Now here's the thing you have to do, and it's very difficult, not difficult to do, it's easy to do actually. If we can zoom in here, you will see there's a 90 degree angle. You take a pair of pliers and you actually bend the top of the spoon over so it's at a 45-degree angle. You do the same with this one. So you see now we have cut a spoon in half. I've taken a pair of pliers and I've actually bent it down to 90 degrees. So we have this. Once you do that, you take a little 1/2 inch of the rubber tubing and you slip it over this. And you got this. Now I'll tell you how to work this out. We'll give you a little history about this. Back, Owlman, who was my mentor, we developed this back in around probably 1986. And what we did was, Uri Geller was very famous for bending metal. And what some people were doing, they used to sell, they still do, Adams has it, Robbins. It's the spoon with a hinge on it. It's like a joke spoon. And people were holding up the hinge spoon, and they were letting the spoon, bend downward. And I think even Cody Fisher has, a gag he's selling nowadays. It's a cute little gag. And even Tannins was selling this. And I always said, well, that's a clever idea, but there was one thing wrong with it. The spoon would be bending downwards. And Alan and I said, well, how can we make the spoon bend upward, away from gravity? And also be examined, because the hinge spoon could not be examined. So we come up with this. And once you do this, now look, you fold it so it's straight like this. And when you let go, it will bend upwards, not downwards. It bends up against gravity. If you do it this way, I mean, it's not going to look... That's the hinge spoon deal that Tannins used to sell, which is funny, but bending up. Now, when Al and I first put this out, we just had the spoon bending this way, which looked pretty amazing. And all you have to do is you just hold the spoon firmly here between your fingertips, and just by releasing the pressure, the spoon would bend upward. This was such an easy idea. A lot of companies stole our idea without credit to us, and they put this out. And then later, after Al died, I come up with this new technique, which I'm going to teach you guys now, which is not in the original directions, which if you buy the trick from the dealers, you don't get this little tip here. I found out that by holding the spoon here, you could give the person a choice. It takes a little practice, but to release the pressure. If the person wants the stem to bend, you simply release the pressure on that side, and the stem bends up. Okay, see how it's working? Now, if the person wants the bowl to bend, you simply release the pressure on this side, holding the stem straight, and the bowl of the spoon bends upward. And then the cool thing, you say, would you like the spoon to bend in the middle? If they say that, no problem. Just release the pressure, and both ends go up, and it creates the uncanny illusion that the spoon is actually bending in the middle. See how cool that looks? So you're actually given, and no other spoon routine I know of allows this, to where you can look at the spectator and say, what part do you want me to bend? The stem, the bowl, or the middle? And when you do that, folks, it blows people away. Now, once the thing bends in half, this is what you got. You clip it here between your fingers and squeeze tight. This will allow you to bang it on the table and show it's solid. The old rubber pencil illusion where you move like this now, see, that looks like the spoon is actually turning to rubbery. See that? It looks like it's, rubber, right? And then you say, what? Solid. And you say, oh, some people say, oh, that's the old trick they knew when they were in school. It's the old rubber pencil illusion. So now you take it and you start bending it like this, and you can do that. You know why? Because of the rubber tubing. And what you're actually doing here, folks, is that you're actually pulling the spoon out of the tubing. So now the spoon is actually, separated. So at this point, you've done that. You look at someone and say, anytime you say break, it's going to break. When the person says break, you just release the pressure, and the spoon breaks. Now at this point, you have the gimmick here. But when it falls to the table, you simply take your thumb and you pull off the gimmick, and you finger clip it. See, there it is. So now you can finger clip it, and the spoon can fall on the table. See, the gimmick is here. The spoon is completely ungimmicked. It can be examined, and there you have it. Now, there's lots more to this. I won't go into much more detail, but when Al and I first invented this, we didn't have the breaking bit. After Al Mann died, I developed the idea of breaking, because the idea that we had was to have a bent spoon already bent, ungimmicked one in your hand, you would do a shuttle pass. So after this was bent, you'd do a shuttle pass, hand out the real bent spoon for examination. Now, a lot of people, magicians, did not want to have to do a shuttle pass with two spoons. So I developed this technique I've shown you now of getting rid of the gimmick and having the spoon break, which I found was more amazing anyhow. But anyhow, here's the deal I want to tell you guys if you don't know about this. In my lecture, every trick I'm doing is on the market. And if you know my work, you know I do a lot of detail. Every trick I'm doing, with maybe the exception of one or two, I am giving you a PDF file as a bonus. You're going to get, with this trick, a PDF file that tells you step by step how to make the trick up. It will give you all the photos for doing the switches. It'll give you other routines and history. The same thing you pay the dealers $29 for, you're going to get as a bonus. So you don't have to go out and buy this spoon for $29. That's what it sells for from your dealers. You can make it up and you'll get the exact manuscript free just for coming to this lecture. Any questions? Okay, the next thing I'm going to do for you is my favorite effect. It's the one I'm most known for, and I have to step out here for a moment. When you saw the ad for the lecture, you saw me holding a light bulb. This is my most famous trick. It's the one I do the most. And the thing about this is that the light bulb, I'm not going to do it here, but the bulb can be examined. You can be at someone's home doing a party. You can say, bring me a light bulb. They can take it out of the lamp and you can do it. So the light bulb is completely ungimmicked. That's the important thing to remember. It never leaves your sight until now, just for a few moments. I'm going to place it inside this paper bag so I can take a salt shaker. Let's get all the salt in my hand. I think I got it all. Watch this. Now, Now, as I said at the very beginning, this is not a dealer show lecture. Everything in my lecture you can make up, including this if you want to. To do this trick, you need really two things, really one thing, and that is a hollow light bulb. Penguin Magic can sell these to you. They're, I think, around $15 because I make them for Penguin Magic. As I promised, you don't have to buy anything from this lecture. If you go to YouTube and you search for how to hollow a light bulb, you will find, because people do this to make crafts, they paint them and stuff, they put flowers in them. If you go to YouTube and search for how to hollow a light bulb, you will find over 100 videos telling you how to make a hollow light bulb at home. Now, it's a little dangerous if you don't wear safety glasses. You may, cut yourself. You can do that. It doesn't cost you anything. Otherwise, you want a hollow light bulb, contact Penguin, you can get one for $15. But I'm going to show you how the trick is done now. What you have is a gimmick. And the gimmick is, ta-da, duct tape. That is the gimmick. This is so cool, guys. This is the gimmick. And I'm going to show you something here. Light bulbs only weigh a couple of ounces. And if I touch the light bulb, see, it sticks to the duct tape. What I've done is that inside the bag, and I use the paper bag because it's logical, because it holds the salt, which you pour it out. Inside the paper bag, on the bottom, you simply put a little loop of duct tape. All right? You fill this up full of salt, put the cork in, put it inside the bag, and it goes beside here. When you take the real light bulb, all you have to do is just put it in and just touch it to that. And see, it's already stuck. So once you banish the salt, and we'll get to that in a moment, once you banish the salt, all you have to do is reach in here, and off the other side here, you pull out the bulb full of salt and bring it out this way. Now, because of that duct tape, you can do like I did. You turn the bag upside down on the same motion, and you shake it. You don't go like that. You just casually shake it, and that implies it's an empty bag, right? I mean, it looked very convincing when I pulled it out. Now, once you pull the light bulb out of the bag, it's very important. Don't pull it out and expose the gimmick. If you see the cork, you've blown the trick. Bring out the bulb like so, so it is concealed here as you turn the bag upside down and casually shake it. Now, my hand comes over, I'm showing you from the rear, and it thumb palms this and pulls it out. So from the front, you see my finger go over this bulb, and I rub the bottom, and it looks like a hole visibly appears. Now look at that again. I mean, it's very important. Don't pull out the bulb and pull off. If you do that, they know the bulb will switch. And you don't want them to, because it's full of salt, and when you bring it out, it looks like the same bulb. You bring it out this way, you turn the bag upside down. Nobody will suspect you've switched that bulb. So if you turn it like this, and your finger simply still away that, like so, and you rub it like that, it looks like real magic. That hole has appeared, and now you pour the salt into here. At this point, you can hold the bulb up, and when you're done, you simply put it back in here, being careful not to hit the other bulb. Leave the cork in there, and it's done. Okay, for those at home or want to make this up yourself, the question that often comes up, what is this? This is a stopper. You can buy these at Lowe's. Probably overseas you don't have Lowe's. I don't know if you do or not. But
yeah,
these
popular here. Yeah, Lowe's. Yeah, very popular. Mm-hmm.
Get a Lowe's, and they have a section where they sell all types of little gimmicks and odd things. Tell them you want rubber stoppers. This is a size number 1. It sells for about 78 cents. So have a hollow light bulb, make one, get the stopper. If you buy it from Penguin, you're going to get the stopper with the bulb. What a deal. I mean, I'm giving you both of them here. Now, the salt vanish. A lot of people, haven't seen this, but a lot of people have. This is a special, this is made by Vernette. I'm showing you how it works here, but you can't make it up. You've got to buy this in Penguin. But you don't have to buy it to do the trick. I'll give you some alternatives. And it's a camera consuming here. This is what it looks like. This is Vernet's Salt Vanish. This sells for about $25. And what's cool about this is that it's just about the right size, if you look at that, for a light bulb. And I love this because the salt, I won't explain the workings, but I'll just show you what it looks like. The salt actually goes into the lid, so and it locks in position, so you can put it down. You can even give someone the hole, and bingo, the salt disappears. So this is what I use, but you don't have to use that because everyone's got a devil's handkerchief. If you don't, you're not a magician probably. Everyone's got a devil's handkerchief. So simply take the devil's handkerchief, like this. Okay, this is not a devil's hank, but it works. Simply take a container of salt, and pour some into the devil's hank, do like this, and the salt vanishes. A friend of mine, Mel Strauss, even made a suggestion the other day on the phone. He said, tell them to take a sheet of newspaper, cut out 2 12-inch squares, paste them together, and leave a little pocket. Vanish the salt in the newspaper. So you can do that. But I said my favorite version is using the salt shaker from Vernette. So it's a free plug for Penguin's salt trick. It's like, any questions about that? Otherwise, I'm going to move on. All right. What you're going to see now is pure eye candy. I'm going to clear away the front here. Some people often ask me, what is my favorite trick of everything I do? And I have invented several thousand tricks, but this is my favorite. I worked at a restaurant as a house magician for 7 years, and this is the trick that I did that actually, they had an audition, and the 2 things that got me in for the restaurant, they had an audition. I did 2 tricks. I did the bending spoon that I showed you, and I did this trick here. 25 people competed. and I got the contract, and they signed me for a year contract. They re-signed me for 7 years in a row. And every week I did this trick and I did the bending spoons. That's how strong these things are. Okay, this is what I call, well, I won't tell you the name of the trick yet because I don't want to tip off what's going to happen. I want you to be surprised, but I want you to see here carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4 aces. Now, this is not a card trick per se because I found out in restaurants that a lot of people don't want to see card tricks. This is eye candy, and it's my favorite eye candy you can see. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. The cards are squared, and it's done very slow so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 1 completely disappears. Now look. No sticky stuff, nothing stuck together, just the 3 aces. Now watch again. I have 1, 2, 3 aces, and I sandwich them together. So look, there's 1, 2, 3 cards, just like that. Look, 1, 2 aces. No sticky stuff, nothing stuck together here, just the 2 cards. Okay, zoom back a little bit here because I want to hold them high in the air so you see the 2 cards. I'm going to place these 2 aces here on my palm so they're there in full view so you can see them there. Watch this. Just 1 card is left. The other 3 have completely dissolved. Now this is the hard one. People say, well, how can that one disappear? It's going to be very difficult because it's not going to really leave your sight except when I place my hand over the card like this. Inside my coat pocket here are the 4 aces. And they're the same aces. Okay, I was here several hours earlier and we was trying to figure out the best way to teach you how to do this because of everything in the lecture, most things are very simple. This is the one thing that will take a little practice. I'm going to show it to you. Before I show you the method here, one thing I want to point out to you for the people who bought the lecture. This trick is called dissolving aces. I put out a little booklet that the dealers sell for $10 that shows you step by step how to do this, every photograph. Now guess what? You're getting the book free as a download. So you don't have to buy the book. I'm going to show you how it's done, but when the lecture's over, download the book. You're going to have 20-some photographs showing you every phase of this trick. It makes it easy to learn. So what we have decided is I'm going to have to move my chair around to the front of the table and shoot over my shoulder and sort of tilt sideways when I do this so we can see. Okay, just a moment to get everything lined up here. A little to my right. Okay, a little more. Okay. Now, there are no gimmicks. This is done with just the 4 cards, and this is really advanced lapping. And it's lapping done in such a way you haven't probably seen it done this way. And also, I'm working now one behind or one ahead. I'm not sure which it's going to be in this case. But once I show the cards, I turn them face down, I square them up, and in doing so, I get a little break here, which you can see in the camera here. And I'm watching the monitor myself. Now, as I square the cards, I come back like this. So from the front, you don't see this. It's back here, and just by releasing my finger here, it falls into my lap. Completely invisible. So I only have 3 cards. But at this point, I'm going 1, 2, I'm holding the break, I'm still holding the card, 3, 4. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like you're seeing 4 aces there, face down. A little shake, see, one's gone, but I'm showing still 4 cards. I deal them out like this, and bingo. I can do like so and show, the aces, 3 aces, one of them is gone. Now this next part I really love. It's This is really a great move here. It looks like you're going to show the cards like this, and that's what you're doing. But what you actually do is, when you come over and take that red ace, your thumb actually slides it into your lap. Your hands haven't gone to the back of the table. See, the ace is here. It's actually in my lap now, but I'll show you that move again. That is such a cool move. You're showing, you're coming over, and your thumb is actually pushing this into your lap. And now, 1, 2, 3 aces. When it's gone, but it still looks like there are 3 aces in your hand. A little shake, and you deal out. And you can do like so. Now, this next part was based on a Marlowe card change. He had a card change where you would hold 2 cards as one, like showing the ace. And as you put it on the table, you would do a deal like this, and the card would change. I'm doing the same thing here. I'm showing the 2 cards. I say I'm going to hold them in my palm like this. So when my hand comes over, I'm actually stealing away that card like so. I'll do it again for you. You're showing the 2 aces. You're bringing your hand around, and you're doing this as you bring them up. And as you lean forward, your hand drops it into your lap as you come over and do like this, showing the last ace, which you can do very cleanly. And remember, the other 3 are in your lap. Finally, for the last ace, I'm going to show you the move sideways here. Your thumb takes it and kicks it, like so. So what's happening here is that it's being kicked into your lap. So when your hand is shown empty, it comes over. I'm doing a sort of exposed view, like that. It's completely concealed. It comes over. You do like this, and it's gone. Now, usually in my lab lecture, I do this several times, and as I said, everyone who bought the lecture will be getting the actual book that dealers sell that gives you step-by-step photographs. Now, one thing that's not in the book that I want to explain to you, because I said I did this in a restaurant for 7 years, people say, well, how do you get up and walk away from the table? Aces are going to fall on the floor. True, unless you do this. The aces are in your lap. You know, don't go to your lap immediately. Let your hands free, you know, and just talk. You know, maybe do another trick. When you're ready to leave, your hand falls into your lap, and it gets the aces in a little packet here. And you don't have to reproduce them. As you're starting to stand up here, and I'm going to bend over this way so you can see, my hand simply comes up like it's adjusting my coat. And see what I'm doing is as I'm coming up. If I don't reproduce them, I could do this. I can just stand up and say, oh, and here they are in my pocket. So what's happening is your hand is actually come up inside the pocket. So as you come up the table, just adjust. Now I'm going to give you a bonus trick too. It's not in the lecture notes. This is something that I do a lot in restaurants, using this same move here. This is the kick move. Okay, if you're in a restaurant and you're going to pay for your dinner, and you will find, folks, you can have people on all 4 sides of you. This is a cool little thing here. You pay for your meal. She brings your card back. When she brings the card back, you put it in your palm. There it is. Look, I'll do that again. It's that same kicking move. I mean, you want to blow your friends away? You bring the card back, you put it in your palm, you simply do like this, and bingo, it's gone. And showing that move, you don't reproduce the card. When you're ready to leave, your hand drops in your lap, and as you're leaving the table, it simply comes up and drops it into your coat pocket, as you adjust your jacket and walk away. So that is a killer effect. I mean, I do it every time I go out and have dinner with friends. I always make the card vanish. So that's the vanishing credit card, and I'll put it back in my wallet. Otherwise, I'll forget it's in my coat pocket. Okay. I'll be looking to pay for a meal, and I won't have my credit card. All righty. All right. One of my favorite effects. What I have here is a prediction. And sir,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, you can just sit there, I'm going to ask you to think of any number from 1 to 100. Think of any number from 1 to 100. Don't tell me what it is, just don't say anything right now. Just think of a number from 1 to 100. Okay? Are you thinking of one?
Yeah.
You are, that's what I predicted. 1! Thank you. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go a step here. I'm going to really do something for real here. Inside here, I have a photograph of a famous person. But what I'm going to do is, I have a deck of cards here, and on the back of them, I've written, if we zoom in here so we can see them here, I've written the names of famous people, like Bruce Willis, Diane Keaton, Mike Myers. These are all famous, Tom Hanks. These are all famous celebrities. So what I'm going to ask you to do, sir, is in a few moments, I want to make sure there is no force. If I were to spread the cards face down, you might say, I'm trying to force a card on you. If I spread them face up, you might say I'm doing one of those fancy face-up forces, or it's psychological. So I'm going to ask you to name any card in the deck. Any card. But please don't name the Ace of Spades or the Queen of Hearts. That's too obvious. But name any other card you like in the deck. Although you can name the Queen or the Ace if you want to screw me up. But whatever card you name, I will go through the deck and remove that card. And whoever name is on the back of that card, his photograph or her photograph is going to be inside this envelope. Would that be amazing?
That'd be pretty good.
You're easily impressed, I see.
I like it.
It'd be a really amazing trick. Go ahead. Any card in the deck.
8 of clubs.
The 8 of clubs. Oh, it's near the top here. Okay. Are you sure you want the 8 of clubs?
Sure.
Okay. Now remember, you could have stopped any card in the deck. They're all different. Look here. Every card's all different. All right. What's on the back of the card? Can you read that? Jay Leno. You zoom in here. Jay Leno. Would you be amazed if inside this deck, or not deck, but rather inside this envelope, was a picture of Jay Leno? I'd be impressed too. And here it is, folks, a picture of Jay Leno when he was a baby. Now, I'm not joking. If you zoom in, you can see the dimple. There's Jay's dimple there, even when he's a baby. You see that? Okay, that's Jay Leno. The other night I did this, and someone chose a card that had, President Obama's name on the back of it. Had him covered too. But listen, you can tell he's thinking about something. As you know, I'm a world-famous mentalist and psychic, and I can do something nobody else in the world can do. No mentalist, no matter how clever he is, can do what I'm about to show you. People can, some mentalists and psychics can touch a ring and tell you who it used to belong to. I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to touch this photo, and I'm going to tell you what Obama baby was thinking when it was taken. Can you believe that? I'm going to tell you what he was thinking. It's hard to be humble when you're this good. Okay. All right. I got it. Baby Obama's thinking, it's time for change. I swear I did this last week. The guy was Michael Jackson. I didn't know which side to show. Oh, well. Oh, if you these are really cute babies here. If you think that's cute, you want to see a picture of me when I was 2? Really, you want to see? I got a picture of me in here when I was 2. You want to see a picture of me when I was 2? Sure. Here's a picture of me when I was 2. Talk about split personality. Oh, and I got kids too. Here are my kids. They're really cute too. But there is one picture left in here. Ooh, drum roll. One picture only. And look, empty, nothing else in sight. Okay, now I'm going to tell you how this is done, and well, you you obviously know how it's done. It's just a bunch of gags, but I have some other things to tell you about this trick. Now, first of all, here's the news that's going to blow you away. This is one of my best-selling tricks, and I have these cards on nice plastic stock. The dealers cannot keep this in stock. Everybody wants to buy them. However, I said it's not a dealer demo. When you bought this lecture, these actual photos, all these photos are on a PDF file that you get downloaded as a bonus, and you can print these on your printer on cardstock, and you can do the trick and not have to spend $29 buying the cards. If you want the nice cards, you can do it, but I'm giving it to you free. I know people say, are you crazy giving all this stuff away for free? Now, there's something that I want to tell you about this, and this is why I do this. A lot of people say, well, that's the old Ken Brook gag. What are you doing that trick for? Well, see, actually, I have some breakthroughs on this trick. Completely different. The baby gag, believe it or not, is flawed. The old version that they put out had a white baby and it had a black baby. And it was inside the folder. This gag is, you may have heard it before, but I think I invented it about 30 years ago. I've been using this, and other people have. I've told it in over 150 lectures, so a lot of people have heard this gag, but I think I was the originator. But the way it is, it's the way you word the thing. You look at someone and say, I want you to think of any number from 1 to 100. Don't say 10, say 1 to 100. And then give them a pause and say, okay, are you thinking of 1? They will always say yes and say, that's exactly what I predicted. You turn it around. Guaranteed to get a laugh. You guys laughed. I mean, it gets a laugh from everybody. It's a funny bit of business. But the problem with the baby gag, and this is why I teach this in my lecture, is that when it was first put out, you just had this, and that worked. But nowadays, since we have the internet and worldwide news and international celebrities, this trick is prone to failure. Failure with a big F. You're going to screw that up more times you can get it right. And the reason for that, if you're doing the trick and someone says, okay, name a famous celebrity. And I'm talking about if you just do the trick not using the deck I did. If you just have people call out a famous person. Person calls out, Jackie Chan. Who are you going to show? That's not Jackie Chan. Okay, what got me thinking was that I was doing this trick after 9/11 and someone yelled out, Osama bin Laden, Connie Chung. Back when Cheek and Chong were very famous, I was doing this trick, and people were yelling out, Cheech Moran! What the? What are you going to do? I mean, you're screwed. I mean, literally, you're screwed. And there's so many international celebrities, the baby gag just didn't work anymore. It was too risky. You're taking your chances. But what I developed was this picture. And I said, you get the picture with this trick. This is your out. This picture allows you to cover anyone that's called. And think about this for a moment here. And I'm not trying to be not politically correct. I mean, I'm just saying this as politely as I can. But let's zoom in close on these, if we can, on these pictures. Okay. Now, this could be the gag I did earlier. If someone names one of those other people, you don't do the first part. Let's say that someone said Jackie Chan. You're saying, here's a picture of Jackie Chan when he was 2. Then, and that's a good gag. People laughed when he was 2. But let me ask you a question. What color is the hair of most Oriental people? Asian descent? What color?
Black.
Black. There's very few exceptions. And if someone says, and also I made these so they wasn't pink and they wasn't blue. I used white on purpose. And the reason for this can be Connie Chan when she was 2, because it looks like, okay, now we're going to go a step further here. I'll show you how clever this is. People of Spanish and Mexican descent, what color is their hair? True. if someone calls out someone who's a like anyone like that, such as Cheek Moran, here he is when he was 2. Okay, now, this is also Osama bin Laden when he was 2. Because, think about it. The people of those nationalities, what color, you've seen them on television, what color is everyone's hair? Right. Okay, Native Americans. This picture is ingenious because it allows, with these 3 photographs, you can cover, the white race, the black race, any other nationality in the world that's called out. This picture will cover it. So if you do the gag normally, you do this, like white or black, you do this bit, you do the bit about, Michael Jackson. I didn't know which side to show. It's a very funny bit. If the person names one of those odd nationalities that you don't just pull out the gag, you don't pull out the baby, it's black or white, you say, and here he is, Jackie Chan when he was 2. You think he's cute, here's a picture of my kids, and you show this on the back, and you just completely ignore this. So this is the way most people do the baby gag. A lot of mentalists open their show with the baby gag, and they open it with this version. In fact, there is a show in Vegas right now, an illusion show, and he is doing my baby gag at the very start of his show as an opening bit of business. So that's how popular this trick is. I mean, it's all over the world. If you want to do the Jay Leno bit, the Jay Leno card, I could not supply on the PDF because this is a copyrighted picture, and I would be sued if I were to give you this picture free. But you can go on the internet if you want to do Jay Leno, and you can download a picture of Jay Leno. If you just search for Jay Leno photos, you're going to find thousands of them, and just print you out one. But the babies that you need for the baby gag, I include those. What I do on the Jay Leno bit, which you don't have to do that, I just like to do it. This is Max Maven's trick he put out.
Is it Phil?
Yeah,
Phil. Yeah.
It's the Phil deck, and a lot of people have that. I'm not allowed. I mean, one time, when I did this, he said, "Please don't expose how my trick is done."
I say go ahead. Yeah, here, show a close up of me. I'm going to talk to Max for a second. Hey, Max. Everybody knows how your trick is done. It's a great trick. Yeah, Phil, fantastic trick. It's been around a long time, been ripped off by everybody. This is another way of doing it for a different reason. So we're going to show everybody exactly how your trick is done. How do you feel about that? Don't give me that. Don't give me that. Boo. Boo to you. Go on.
Okay, all right.
Do you want me to do it so you don't have to take the heat? It's a one-way forcing deck.
Well, no, it's actually better because these are super thin cards.
Oh, you're using the double decker, right? Yeah.
It's the double decker.
Yeah, nice. All right. Even better.
Yes. This is the part he didn't want me exposing. You still want me to expose?
Yeah, of course, of course.
This is actually 26. No, this is the 26 cards here that have different names on the back of them. This is 52 cards, including the Joker. This little packet here is 52 cards. So on the back of all these cards, I've written Jay Leno. All right? On these 26 cards, I have written the names of 26 famous celebrities. Once you square them up, it looks like a normal deck of cards. And the cool thing about this, and I love this, is that you can just have someone call out any card. And you can say, look, it's not going to be a free choice. Even if the person calls out the Joker, you can go through and pull out the Joker. Whatever card the person names, it's going to have Jay Leno on the back, or whatever celebrity you want to use. Penguin sells these decks, and what you have to do is you have to buy the one they sell as the blank deck. It doesn't have anything written in the back of it, so you can write your own cards. If you buy the Phil trick, it's going to have whatever's on the back of it, names, first names of people. But I'm going to give you something here really cool. And this is something, an exclusive little bit for you guys here tuned in the Penguin. I'm going to tell you how to do the Jay Leno trick without using the forcing deck, although it's not really a forcing deck. You don't have to spend, you know, I think, what, $20 for the deck. Here's what you do. You have a bunch of index cards. And what you do is you just look at the audience and you say, you have like maybe 20 index cards, and you look at them and you say, I want you to name out famous nighttime celebrities. They're going to name, Jay Leno's going to be called out, David Letterman. And what you do is you just simply write Jay Leno on every index card. And you fold it in half and drop it into a hat. And you say, okay, that's enough. We've written on a lot of famous celebrities. Reach into the hat and pull out one. Person pulls out, you know, a next card, Jay Leno, and you go into the ending. That's an old idea, you know, writing the same thing on every slip of paper, but you can do it this way because when you say name a late night television host, Jay Leno is always going to be called out. Also, if you want to do a different show, you can do David Letterman because David Letterman's always called out. So all 10 cards, you just write David Letterman on them. And after I teach you blind sight, remind me, I will try to remember, remind me to come back and tell you a better way to do this, but I don't want to tip off blind sight right now. Okay, moving on. Yes.
Oh, hey, before you go any further, I do have something coming in from Twitter here, a quick question, actually not about this routine, but about the previous one in the restaurant, the Dissolving Aces. Because you performed that one seated, our friend from Brazil was just asking, how do you sit with the people? You know, do you ask them, or are there any suggestions? Because a lot of restaurant workers stay standing as they do their work, but you know, how do you go about being seated with them?
Okay, be glad to answer that question for him. I did this for 7 years. You can't do it at every table, but a lot of restaurants, now, even a booth will work. A lot of people eat by themselves at the restaurant. So if you see a guy or a lady eating by themselves, you say, I'm the house magician, and you just sit down and say, may I sit down for a moment? I'm going to show you something really amazing. I have never had anyone tell me, no, you can't sit down here because, you know, they want to see some magic. I have found, you know, a lot of tables will have like 2 people, one here and one here, or maybe 3. If there's an open seat, I simply say, may I sit down for a moment? I say, I want to show you something. And I will do another trick, you know, it's done on the table, like maybe the cups and balls or something. So, in other words, if you're going to sit down, you need to do a trick to where you're sitting. Maybe you're doing a matrix or something where you're sitting down. You don't want to go into the card trick immediately because then they think, well, why is he sitting down and do that? So you're delaying the card trick. And I showed you the cleanup. You know, once you're done, you clean up and you walk away. And I said, I've done this for 7 years in a restaurant, and I worked, you know, hundreds of people a night, and I never, ever have anyone tell me, you can't sit down. In fact, a lot of people, you know, they feel, now I know some people are going to disagree with me, but I'm thinking from years of experience. A lot of people think you're friendlier and are more comfortable sitting down across the table from them. Because when you stand up, you're domineering, and a lot of people find that threatening. If you sit down, you're getting on their level, and I've had no problem. Well, I hope it opens your question. I mean, that's what I've done.
Yeah, yeah. When I was doing restaurant work, I would work like early in the night. I would do it standing, walking around to as many people as possible, and then later in the night, if people were still there, very often I would go back to the same table and join them for some special stuff where I'd sit with them. I also know that Michael Skinner and Eugene Berger both worked exclusively seated. Like they would have to be requested to come to your table, and a chair would be brought over for them. So there's lots of ways that you can do it.
All right. Yeah, let me clip this on my belt. Never mind. I'll just fill out the cards here. This is something, this was the second trick that I put on the market. I'm going to deal out some cards on the table here. That's good. And what I'm going to do is, and I've got a clipboard here I'm going to be using in just a moment, I would like to have someone come up here, and you're going to, can we sort of zoom down so we can see what the cards are for a moment? I'm going to have you in a few moments think of a card and just like maybe this, and just set it aside for a moment, and then cover the other cards up like so, so no one can see them. Got that? and then put the card face up so that's the only one that you can see, because I'm going to have you concentrate on this card, and I want you to cover up the other ones, because if your mind sees those cards, it will confuse me, because while my back is turned, and I can't really be, I can do this 20 feet away, but I don't have 20 feet behind me, so I'm going to have my back turned the whole time. I'm going to try to read your mind and tell you the card that you've selected and placed on top. So remember, just take one card, any card you like, cover up the other ones so you can't see them, and then just concentrate and focus on that one card. And while my back is turned, I'm going to try to tell you the card you are thinking of. Would that be amazing if I could do that? Mm-hmm. Now, it doesn't always work. I mean, sometimes I have missed. I mean, this is really difficult to do. And let's see, who should I use? Ma'am, would you like to do this? Okay, and now in a few moments, I'm going to move the chair out of the way here. I'm going to turn my back, and I don't know if we can do this or not, but okay, can you stand in front of the cards and block the view of the camera? Okay, that's good. The reason I want to do this is that when you select the card, I don't want the people in the audience to see the card, because some people say, well, someone in the audience saw the card and somehow they're sending you a signal. So if you block the view of the camera, no one can see the card that you're going to select. Okay, you understand what I mean? You just take away one card, cover the other ones up like so, and then put it face up so that's the only card you can see. Alrighty? And I got to use my glasses because I'm going to have to write here for the magic marker. But I'm going to turn my back to you. And tell me once you've done that. And I'll get my marker here, ready to write.
Okay.
You got a card face up on the other ones are covered so you can't see it. Okay, great. Now, focus on that card. Just look at it over and over and burn it to your memory. Have you done so?
Yes.
And the audience, all they're seeing is the back of the dress, right? That's all. No one can see the card there on the camera, right? Okay, I'm just pointing that out because some people say, well, you see it in the viewer. I can't see it in the viewer because, she's blocking the view of the card. Okay, now, what is your name?
Bree.
All right, I want you to turn the card face down so you can't see the face anymore, so you make your mind blank. Just turn the card face down.
Okay.
Have you done so?
Yes.
Okay, now what I want you to do is take your hand and put it over the card. Okay, you can step to the side, but keep your hand over the card. Yes. Now remember, my back was turned the entire time. I wrote something on the clipboard here. If you can see what it is, it's the Queen of Diamonds. Would you show the camera the card you've selected?
Woo!
Thank you. I said this was the second trick I ever put out on the market, and it was met with great success. A lot of people have used this, and the secret of this is it is so ingenious. And I'll bring the cards here, and I'm going to show you how it's done. There are 10 cards here. And I'm going to show this to you slow. Now, while your back is turned, you have no idea what card she is selecting. And when they're covered up, she selects a card. Like, she selected the Queen of Diamonds. Now, the way this is done is that every card has got a different colored back. And And since I'm not selling you at home the cards, which sometimes I do, I'm going to take a little bit longer. I'm going to actually show you in the camera, what the backs of the cards are, so you know what to buy. Now, you don't want to go out and buy those Bulldog cards. You don't want cards that look abnormal. You don't want to buy purple bicycles or pink bicycles because people, I've never seen those before. These are all cards that magicians use. They use, you buy them in stores. So I'm going to show you first of all. Here's an aviator blue. I'm doing this so you can write it down. Okay, aviator red, B red, tally hole circle, red, tally hole circle blue, blue B, red bicycle, tally hole fan red, fan blue, tally hole, and a blue bicycle deck. Now, you need to take a card from each deck, and now most magicians, if you're like me, if you do card magic, you have all these decks around your house. If you don't have them, you can go to the store and you can get them. Or what you might do, magic friends get together and you buy all the decks and you all, make a set of cards. And here's a free plug from Penguin. For those who want the easy way out, I think if you contact Penguin for like $15, they will sell you a set of all the cards already made up to save you the trouble, because it might cost you $30, $40 to buy the cards separately. But that is what you do. Now, here's the subtlety here. I'll get the cloth again. Now, remember, I told you earlier, this can be done 20 feet away. And it can be, because these backs, okay, let's say they're here on the table here, okay, and the person's got them covered. Your back is turned, so you can't see what's going on. Then you say, I want you to make your mind a blank, and you turn the card face down so you can't see it anymore. And you say, have you done that? Now at this point, my back is turned. And I'm saying, have you done that yet? And she says, yes. And then I just quickly say, okay, I just turn for a second, I say, put your hand over that card. And in that split second, I see the back of the card. So I know what the back of the card is. Now, one thing I want to point out here that some people bring up here, and they say, well, how can you do that 20 feet away? Well, you can. Because they say, well, okay, here's a good example. They say, 20 feet away, won't the backs look similar? Yes, but the aviator's got a white border. And even though you can't see the pattern, you can tell, from 20 feet away, you can tell which one is the B. So I've done this, you can be 20 feet away and just in a split second, just say, okay, put your hand over the card. And the person does, and you know what?
It's great, Devin. I'm 15 feet away, and I've got pretty bad eyesight for distances and stuff, and I can tell like right away. So that's fantastic.
And what you want to do is, to do this trick, I just have a regular bicycle deck, and I put the 10 cards on the face of them. This is a cell phone container. It's got the little clip on it, and you can actually clip it onto your belt. So when you walk up to the table, you simply pull out the cards so they don't see the back. A lot of dealers sell leather card cases. You don't want to come out with a bicycle case because you don't want to see the back of the cards on the case. So you just use any case, or you can just have the cards on the table like this. The cool thing, if the person selects the bicycle blue back card, if that's the case, when you pick up the cards, you can flash the backs of the cards as you put them in the case, which happens 1 out of 10 times. Okay, now someone says, well, how in the world do you know what the card is? Yeah, you got a glimpse of it. How do you memorize all those cards? You don't memorize anything. What I've done is, I've gone to Walmart and I bought one of those big markers like this. And on the back of it, I put one of those labels, and if you zoom in here, I've got abbreviations, AB for aviator, blue. I've got all the backs of the cards, so I just simply, oh, she had a B card, it was red, and I'm saying, oh, okay, if we look here, you zoom in here, we see, okay, look at the focus here. B, I got BE, so I know it's B rather than bicycle. And it's got, Queen of Diamonds there. So in a split second, I just glance down and say, oh, it's a Queen of Diamonds, and you turn around and fools everybody in the world. Nobody, is going to figure this out.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's sweet. That's great. Memories for suckers.
All right, let's move this aside so I can clear off the table here. This good stuff so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're going to go down a few notches because Penguin says, well, at least have a trick for beginners. I mean, some of the stuff is really advanced, and they said, can you at least do a trick for beginners? So some of you may know this trick, but I'm going to teach it to you. This is a trick to where you show that you've got a fan of 3 cards, and zoom in close so you can see them. 2 red 10s and 9s in the middle, and look, there's even a marker on the back, a sticker, so we know which one is the 9. Now here's the amazing thing. I simply pull the 9 out, put it on the table, and you see my hands are the 2 10s here. I wave my hand, and look, it changes to a king. Isn't that incredible? What do you mean you guys already know this trick? Yes, Dan, I think I went too simplified here. This is a beginner trick here. The way it's done is, this is the old flap. You take half a card and you cut it off. You use Scotch tape, and you simply tape it on the back of it so it makes a flap. Everyone see that? Okay, it makes it. Let me get the king out of here. We don't need that for right now. So when you put it this way, see what it looks like? It looks like you see the 9 here. So when you line the cards up here, let me get them lined up here. You got to get them just lined up here perfectly here. Yeah, there it is. So we can see the king is hidden behind the 9. Got that? And then the 10 goes on top of it. Everyone with me so far? This is old hat to you. I'm teaching you something you don't know. You already know. Okay, so the king is behind the 9. And then you put this on top of it like so. And you turn it over, and they see that spot there, and you pull it out, and they think that is the king, or the 9. Okay. And if you're careful, you know, you square these cards up. They think that's a 9, but really it's the king. You square the cards up and show them on both sides. I know that's an old trick, and you probably said, well, Devin Knight, I thought he was better than that. Actually, I am. Okay. Anyone have this trick? It's called my backstage Monty. Anyone? I'm going to show you how to make this up. This is one trick I make up, and I cannot keep it in stock. I mean, the dealers sell out my distributor as soon as he'll say, we want 50 of them. I send them 50, 2 days later they're all gone. And they have 50 more on order right now. So that's how much people like this, because everyone has seen the 3-card Monty. When you go to a trade show or even in cereal boxes, everyone knows this trick. Even when you do it in the audience, oh, I have that home. It's in my magic set. All right, this is probably one of the best tricks in the lecture here, and you guys are going to love this. Now this looks natural, right? I mean, now there is another card back here. You have the ace and you have the king, and I have the ace back here for right now, behind the table, out of sight, and here's the king. So you show the trick as normal. You expose how it's done. You talk about putting the king behind here, and you actually show how it's done. And you pull it out and show the change and show this. Okay, if you don't have my trick, you haven't bought it. I'm just curious. Anyone here have a clue as to how the ace actually, the king changed to an ace so clean looking? When the cards never left your sight? All right, let me show you this. Behind here is a gimmick. I have taken the king from another deck, and I've cut off on the black line, and I put Scotch tape here, okay? So this is actually taped so it will fold in flat like this. So otherwise it would stick out, so it's got to fold in the middle. So you simply cut where the line is, you put Scotch tape on it, and it comes out like this. When you show it like this quickly, you don't see anything. Okay, now here is the cool thing. If you use an ace, okay, now this card goes back behind the table out of sight. So this time you pull out the ace. And so there is the ace here. Now watch what happens. as I'm holding the card up, but I'm going to expose the view, my fingers come in and it pulls out that flap. Look at that. And it lines up the cards. So there's the ace, and my finger goes over the A and holds it this way. And doesn't that look like the king of spades? Show both. Can you tell that is not the king of spades? So you've switched the cards. You put an ace there, but using that little gimmick, and see the gimmick slides back in, like so. So when you bring the card up, like so, you simply line it up. Your finger goes over the ace, showing there's the king. As you bring it up, you're pushing this ace back in, so you show the ace. This card comes over, you bring them back down. When you turn them over, you simply pull out this and say, you know, a lot of people have to do this, but real magicians can make them change real, snap it, and then. Now, you can also have a card selected. Force the ace of spades, which I like to use. Force the ace of spades on someone. And then this card, you say, what was your card? Oh, the ace of spades. You reveal the selected card as a double kicker. So remember, to make this up, it only takes cutting one card in half. You may have to put a little angle here at the bottom so it fits on the card. Take the index, take another card, just cut off the ends of the corners, and then cut it so it will fold. You know, put tape there and tape it on the back of the card. You may have to experiment a little bit with your card. And you've got this gimmick. It just simply will turn an ace into a king. And it works with other cards too. I mean, if you think forcing the ace of spades is too obvious, it works with other cards. You know, the three of clubs or the two of diamonds. You know. I just like to use the ace because it's nice and visual if I'm just going to do the trick. But this is called the Backstage Monte. And for those who don't want to make it up, I mean, I'm showing you how to make it up. When it's in stock, Penguin does have these for sale. But I said right now they're out of stock because they're sold out. But I'm making 50 more when I get off. After this lecture tour, I'm doing 50 more, so they should be available. But you can make it up in the meantime if you want to. Ah, yes. The one that started it all. I have a lot to say about this, but I won't say it right now. This is a trick involving, well, there's a lot of trick. I mean, it's a miracle. it's a miracle involving 4 colored cards, and the cards are normal. They're just, you know, cardboard. And you can make this up once I show you how to make the trick up. You can make the trick up here using just colored construction paper that you can buy from Target or some other store. But what you're going to do is, let me get a pen here. Let's say, Robert, can I use you? Okay, you can just sit there for now. All right, I'm going to, if we can zoom in closer, we can see this. I'm going to write on this card maybe the color blue. Okay, if I hold the card, you can see the blue here on the camera and look at the monitor. Can you visualize the color blue in your mind when you see just me writing blue down? Mm-hmm. That's something we can do, folks. If you see a color written in black, you can visualize. Let's try it again now. Someone else, if I write the color red, the lady here, can you, if you read the word red, can you see the color red in your mind? Yeah. Okay. We're going to try to do something it's much more difficult. Robert, I'm going to ask you to help me out. You can stay in your seat here, but what we're going to do is I'm going to take a card. You can't see through the envelope here. There's no way you can see that. So I'm going to take put another one in. See, there's no way to see this. You cannot see through here. Okay. And I'm going to mix these up so that no one knows which color is which color here. Okay, I'm sending psychic power your way. We were all born with psychic power, but as we get older, our minds, become skeptical and we lose it. So right now, be healed. What color do you think this is?
Green.
Okay. Now I want you... No, I'll keep doing it here. Okay. You think that one's green. Okay. Let me point to another one here. Let's see. All right. What color is this one?
Blue.
Okay, blue.
You know what? Actually, no, red. I'm gonna say red this time.
Okay, you want red. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. This one.
Let's make that blue.
You want that one to be blue. Okay, last choice. What color is this one?
Yellow.
Yellow. Okay, so we got yellow, we have blue, we have red, we have green. Now, if he was correct, all of them were correct on the inside. The last one would be an anticlimactic effect here. So, Robert, we've got these colors here. I'm going to ask you to name any one of them.
Let's go with green.
Green? Okay, green will stay right there. That is for the climax. All right, let's see here. Yellow is yellow. You got one right. Oh, and I want to point out something. Look, zoom in. The envelope is empty here. You see that? The envelope is empty. Okay. You changed your mind here, right?
Yes.
Okay. Inside here, blue. Good thing he did. Look, it's blue. And look, nothing in the envelope. Red. This could be wrong. And make sure there's nothing inside the envelope here. Completely empty. We have one left, and that is green. But I want to show you something. I said set aside one. You named. I showed you all the envelopes are empty. Now look, inside this one is a card. And if we zoom in close, it says, you set the green envelope aside. This is blind sight. This is actually what got my career started in mentalism. I went to, well, not really I was doing mentalism before that, but really made me a name in the world of magic and mentalism. I went to Mindvention, and they had what you call the attendee show. And I came up and I did this trick at the attendee show. And every mentalist there, the ones that know this, every guy that was there, even the biggest names in mind reading, their mouths all dropped up, and they said, how in the world did you do that? And it was exactly like this. Nobody had a clue. And Jeff Poncher, the guy who's got the website Selling Mind Stuff, he said, this was by far the best trick at Mindvention. Murphy's contacted me and asked me to put this trick out. Since I did, it has sold over 5,000 copies around the world. It's being used by top mentalists all over the country. It is a fooler, and it's probably one of the most practical effects. I think even Dan, you use this, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a fooler, and it looks like real magic. And I'm going to do two things tonight. I'm going to show you, first of all, the basic method. And in the lecture notes, I give you the directions that come when you buy the trick. They show you all the handlings. So you get that free as part of the download. I'm going to show you the basic method, and then I have a brand new method, which I've never revealed before. In fact, the old method I'm taking off the market. It's just blind sight. It's going to go off the market. Improved blind sight, it's got the new method, which I use tonight. I'm going to explain that to you. You're the first guys to learn it, you know, the people who are on this lecture. Later in the fall, it'll be put out from the dealers as improved blind sight. You guys don't have to wait till the fall. I'm going to show you right now how it's done, but I'm going to show you, first of all, the original method so you can see how the improvements work. Because unless you know the original blind sight, you can't really appreciate how it's done. Okay, first of all, you need 6 envelopes. And on each envelope, and these are number 5 manila envelopes. You can get these at office supply stores. It's number 5 manila envelopes or coin envelopes. What you do is you write already on the faces of the cards, or the envelopes rather, the colors, like yellow, blue, red, green. And I stack them in order, G, R, B, Y. And the easy way to remember that is the word grabby, because you don't want your spectators to be grabby or grabbing stuff. So if you remember grabby, G for the green, R for red, B for the blue, and Y for the yellow, that reminds you of the stack of the cards. At the very, and also in the green envelope, you have a little card that says you will set aside the color green. You also need 2 blank envelopes. Now this first part I didn't do when I first did the trick, but when you start out for lay people, you say I have a stack of envelopes here, and what you do is you just thumb off the first envelope and you say, you know, look, hold up the light and stuff. You say, look, you can't see through this. This implies you have a stack of envelopes here. Then you put them on the table. So remembering what the card, and also one other thing I forgot to tell you, on the back of the yellow card, if you zoom in here, I put a little sticker that says you chose yellow. And this is on the table. So to start out with, on the back of this card here, I've got also you chose blue. Because I've got 3 outs here. I know I got 4 colors, but we only need 3 outs, and you'll see why in a moment. So to have this card on the table and to justify it, I did this little bit of psychology about, you know, writing down the color blue and stuff and read. You can see that in your mind, and everyone can. And then you toss this aside, and you say, now, if you can see things in your mind, maybe you can see colors. It's out of sight also. So knowing that the cards are, the envelopes are stacked in this order, you take the green card and you put it in the first envelope, like so. And you slide it up slightly, concealing out what's written on the face. See, you can't see through here. Now that was the original trick. Later I stopped doing that. I just picked up and said, see, you can't see through here. Which seems to imply it's a blank envelope, even though it's written on the back. But it's very bold, and see, you can't see through here. And I just toss it on the table. And then next, grabby, GR, we know red goes in here. So I pick up this one and simply push it in. And say, you can't see through this. You toss it down. Then blue, sort of grabby. You can't see through this. And last of all, you put the yellow in, and making sure not to show at the back this side. You don't do that shit. But you put it in so this is at the top. Now the gimmick is you have a marker that does not write. You buy a Sharpie and you take nail polish and you coat the tip over it. It dries, and then it doesn't write anymore. You get the fast drying nail polish. Now here's the subtlety that blows people away. The cards are mixed up here. You don't know the order of them. You really don't in the original trick. So you simply point to someone and, okay, like you just go ahead and name a color.
Blue.
Blue. And so you think that's blue, and I pick it up here. Now it actually is blue on here. So what I do is, since it's right, I write down blue. And you can hear me writing, and if you pencil read, you actually see me writing blue. And since it's blue, I can flash it, you know. I don't say, look, I wrote blue. I say, okay, now, what color do you think this one is?
Red.
Red. It's actually yellow. But see, I write down red, but I can't flash it. So then I say, I just leave hand this way. What color is this?
Yellow.
Okay. It's going to be red, but you know, I'm writing yellow. And then the one left over has got to be green. In this case, it is green, and that's cool because it can be left on the bottom of the stack. So with the old method, and I'm teaching you a better way of doing this, but this is the old method. Now, what you do is, at this point, I just arrange the envelope so the red is on the bottom, the yellow and green's in the middle, and the blue's on the top. So it doesn't matter what order the yellow and green's in, but you want red on the bottom, blue on the top. Because you can tell the person, now, we're only going to use 3 envelopes because the 4th one will be anticlimactic. We're going to set aside 1. So if the person's close up, he can select one. And generally, you know, being close up, they're going to select these 2 in the middle. But go ahead, select one.
Blue.
Blue, okay. Now, in blue, that's fine, you can set blue aside here. Now, if red is selected, because I said you don't have 3 out, you got 3 outs, you don't have 4 outs. You're going to take red out of play, and this is an idea that Mel Strauss, a good friend of mine, helped me develop, and I give him credit because he's a genius. He said, here's a way to get rid of the 4th out, because we're trying to find 4 ways to have 4 outs, and the other ones were all crabby. We don't like this. So he said, do this. We only need 3 cards, 3 colors, 3 envelopes. 1 will be anticlimactic, so we're going to set aside 1. I want you to take 1. Let's say the person takes red. That's the one you don't have an out for. You say, okay, that's the first color. Now take a second color. Take a third color, and the one left over, that's the one we'll set aside. And you put red on the bottom because we know from card forces, another thing else, Di Vernon developed this, and also Ed Marlowe discovered this. The card on the bottom is least likely to be selected. So by putting red on the bottom, it's least likely to be selected. These 2 cards in the middle, particularly the green, is most likely to be selected, because the second card from top is usually the most selected out of the 4 from Vernon's 4 card force. Blue is highly unlikely because it's on top. You named it because you were doing something differently. But if you set aside, remember red you don't need now. If you set aside blue, at the end you say, look, I have a prediction, and you turn it over and it says you chose blue. That is obviously the weakest out, but it's still okay. But that's why I put blue on top, so normally you don't have to do that out. The 2 strongest outs are yellow. If the person takes yellow, you set that aside. And when you're pulling out the stuff from the envelopes, you always want to show them empty. You can't do the green, you would think, because it's got a card inside of it. But what you do is you buckle the card. See, look here, I'll zoom in. I'm buckling the card. You see that? It's buckled so that the prediction is hidden behind the card. So see, nothing in here but the card, and you pull it up. And you can pinch it and shake it, and it looks like it's empty. If the yellow was set aside, you turn it over, and you say, I've made a prediction on the back. And it says, you chose yellow, and then you can show the backs of all the other cards and show there was nothing on the back of them. The strongest prediction is to pull all these out, and when you pull out the yellow, you simply pull out so your fingers go over there, and you can flash both sides of it and put it on the table so they don't see the prediction. But you want to make sure that you show each envelope empty if they chose the green, because when you pull out the green and inside here is that slip of paper, that is the killer prediction. Okay, that is the basic blind sight. It's the one that most people are using. Now, I have improved this, and now I'm going to tell you how I've improved it, because the perfect, and I will tell you a little story, it's a funny story about my invention. The perfect out, or the perfect thing, is when the person gets them all right. When I was doing this at my invention, Bob, we all know who Bob Sheets is. Bob Sheets, he was sitting there on the front row. So I said, Bob, I'm going to use you. And Bob, he's a great guy. I love him, but he can be a real smart ass at times. So he'd never seen me before. He'd never heard of me. So, and Bob said, I'm going to give this guy a hard time. We're going to have fun with him. So I had the envelopes here. And I don't know, maybe Bob is a real psychic or something. But, and I'll tell you about his quote later. But they were here. And I said, okay, Bob, what color do you think this is? He said, red. So I picked it up. And this is exactly what happened. And he said, wait a minute. He said, no. He said, no. He said, I'm wrong. It's red. And then, no. He said, no, it's green. It's green. And I said, okay, are you sure? He said, yes. So I wrote down green, and I flashed it. This is really what happened here. And I pointed to this one. And he said, okay, that one's red. And then I looked at him and said, okay, what about this one? He said, yellow. And he said, no, it's blue. I said, are you sure? Yeah. He said, blue. So help me. This is actually a true story. Guys at my invention saw it. What color is that? You can't change your mind. He said, yellow. Now, folks, he changed his mind 3 times. And every time he's changed his mind, it was the actual color on the envelope. I was able to flash every envelope.
Yeah, even after he changes his mind. Which this is the thing that I've found in doing it, is that you're very likely to get at least one hit, at least in the old method. And you've got some new work, which I want to see in a second. But even in this original method, you're really likely to get at least one hit. And if they see you flash it just once, they're satisfied. But you're very likely to get 2, maybe all of them. It's really fun,
Yeah, it happens. I've had people, right in the cafe, they've done it, the first time they got all 4 of them correct.
Yeah.
But I said, it really happened that Bob, trying to be a smart ass, changed his mind several times. And every time he changed his mind, it was the actual color on the envelope. So he changed his mind, and everyone there, all the mentalists saw the actual color he named on there. So that's why they were all full. They said, God, And Bob later, I said, can I have a quote? And he says, yeah. He said, I changed my mind 3 times, and Devin still nailed me. I was the perfect mark. And I've used that to sell, thousands of them. And that could never happen again. I mean, and the people at my man said, wow, we are seeing on the level of mental we've never seen before. Who is this guy? How can he do that? It was all just luck. It was good luck on my part. I said, maybe Bob was really psychic. But anyhow, I want to tell you how to do this so you get them almost all the time. I have done this trick, in restaurants. I have probably done this trick more than anyone else in the world. I would say I've done this trick 2,000 or 3,000 times over 7 years. And what I have found, folks, in doing this with lay people, and I've said I've done it in over 150 magic lectures at magic clubs and stuff. It doesn't work 100%, but I have found that, as a rule, when you ask someone to name a color of these 4, red is too obvious. 70% of the time, the first color named is green. It's almost infallible. I said, I've done this trick thousands of times, and I realized, green is called out. Yellow was always, usually the last time, I can almost say 90% of the time, yellow was the last color called. So I know green is going to be number 1, yellow is going to be number 2. Red and blue sort of in the middle, it's like 50-50. Red is more of a little slightly higher advantage. So I found out that normally, if you ask a lay person, they're going to say, call out the colors. Okay, green, red, blue, yellow, or it might be green, blue, red, yellow. But that's going to happen most of the time. Doesn't happen all the time, but it happens at least 70% of the time. And it happened with Robert tonight. He called, the green, the red, the blue, the yellow. It works. But what you got to do is, you want to make sure you're not taking a chance. And what I've done here, and this is the new thing I've done, and this might be hard to see unless we can zoom in real close here. I have marked the envelopes. Now see, normally here, an envelope, if we can get go real close here, I know it's hard to see, but these envelopes have got rounded corners. Maybe on this flapper you can see better here, but what I've done is for the green one, on the left side, I've taken a pair of scissors and I've cut the corner so it's got a straight edge, so it's not rounded. So the right corner is straight, the left is rounded, so I know this is green. It's got green on the front. Okay, for the red one, I have cut a straight corner on the right side, so the green is on the left and the red is on the right side. For the blue, I've cut both corners straight, so the blue was cut on both sides. And then for the yellow, I didn't do anything. It's completely ungimmicked. So once I put the envelopes in, I can mix them up, completely at random, and I can drop them on the table. And I put on my glasses, I say, well, I can't see close up. That's really so I can see the marks and envelopes. If I say I can't write well unless I have my glasses on. So as I look down here, I'm glancing because I know the odds are greatly in favor. 7% the person's going to call green. So I point to the green envelope and I say, what color do you think this is? Green. I pick it up and I write green and I'm able to flash it. Now, and you continue here. You point to red. And if you're wrong on red, the next one's going to be blue. They might name blue, so you'll be able to flash two of them, but you'll be able to flash the last one. Or I'm sorry, the last one that's left on the table. All right, now let me show you how to ensure you get at least two correct. And even that's amazing. Getting one's nice, but I'm going to show you how to increase your odds of getting two correct, almost guaranteed. What you're going to do is, and this is worth the price of lecture if you're doing blind sight. So pay close attention. You can play this back because this part is not written down. This is something new that I've developed within the last year, and this is not in the original directions. Let's say that I point to green here, and this is the green one, and I pick it up, and the person says red. All right, I write down red. Now, one thing that I know at this point, I cannot show the envelope that's got red on it because it's always going to be wrong, right?
Yeah.
Always going to be wrong. So since the person said red, I glance down and I pick up the envelope that is red and I point to this one and I say, what color is this? The person in this case may say green because if they say red, they say green. So you're right, green. Now the two on the table, you have a 50-50 chance of being correct because by picking up the color that they were wrong in the first one, you took that color out of play. You got two left on the table here. So you have a 50-50 chance. And when you point to it, even if the colors are not up, as long as yellow's on the table, you make sure you don't point to it. You point to the other color. This might be green. So you're leaving yellow on the table. So that increases your odds of 50-50. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So the color that they were wrong on, you pick that up. You take it out of play because you could never show that one. So don't leave it on the table. That gives you two on the table that can be correct. There's only two envelopes, so you have a 50-50 chance of being correct on both of them. Now, here's something even more ingenious that you never thought about, even when I tell you this here. Here's a way to guarantee you always get one of them correct. Sometimes you can get none of them correct. I mean, that happens occasionally. But when this happens, let's say that I point to the green one. The person says, that's red. Okay, at this point, you're going to point to the red envelope. That's green. It's actually red. Now, at this point, he's miscalled two of them. So, you pick up the green envelope. Okay, that's probably blue. By picking up the colors that he's wrong on, these three colors, the one left on the table will always be a matching one at the end. So at that point, it's yellow. The one left on the table will always be matching. So you can write that, and then you can drop your hand down, and they see that. So by always picking up the wrong color for the next one, does that make sense when you're missing? Because of the marks, you're always picking up the wrong color and putting them on the stack, and that guarantees you'll always have the last envelope Correct. So by doing this, your odds are 7%. You can get all of them correct. Most of the time, at worst case, you'll have 2 of them correct. In worst case scenario, you'll always have 1 correct. No more, where you can't show any envelopes. That can happen sometimes. So that's my new improved blind sight. Later in the fall, I said I'm rewriting the directions, explaining this method with the envelopes and stuff, and tell you how to make it up. And it's going to be probably $25. But I said, you guys have got it free tonight. You've learned the secret. You don't have to wait until the fall. And if you know people know blind sight, you can go out and fool them with this right now by using this new ending. And they'll say, boy, that lucky guy, he got them all right. How did he do that?
Cool. Devin, before we move on, because I love blind sight so much and I can't say enough about it, but I just want to say a couple more things.
Okay.
In case you guys haven't even thought of it yet, you don't have to use 4 colors. You can use 4 of anything that you could write down quickly. Devin and I were talking earlier, and when he puts out his final thing later in the fall, you'll be able to do this guaranteed 100%. But I was saying, like, you could use pictures of the Beatles, or maybe the Marx Brothers, or the 4 seasons of the year, or pretty much anything that you want to. If you want to extend it a little bit, you could go to ESP symbols, but then you'd have to mess around a little bit with the thing. But it's one of those that's extremely fun to perform, even in the original version, because you're taking a chance that you might or might not get anything right, and it won't affect the outcome. If I've done this many times where they have gotten every color wrong, and that's okay. Because as long as you just act like you're writing it down, like it doesn't matter, and they get every color wrong, then you just mix them up and lay them out, and they see that you've written the 4 colors, that they swear that you had to have written what they said. It's very, very subtle. I love it. Absolutely.
Now, I want to point out again, just in case somebody didn't get this, it's very important, to actually write the word that they call out. So if the pencil reading, you see it, and you coat the things that won't write so they can hear the writing. Because when you write with a magic marker, you hear the screeching sound.
Yeah, you want that tip to actually rub against the
It's actually rubbing, so
envelope.
you're actually writing and rubbing so they can hear you writing.
Now, one detail, you have 2 pens. One that actually writes and one that doesn't. So that you use the writing pen first when you show, blue, can you visualize blue, and red, can you visualize red, and then you put that one away. When you go to write the things down, you very simply switch the pens in your pocket. Yeah, awesome.
And also, in the improved version, which is using this, I've gone to using a Stroop card, which is a Stroop test, which I'm using in blind sight too. So in this improved version, you'll get a little Stroop card to where you're using the Stroop test instead of having people visualize colors of black and white. It's a little bit more effective. So that's in the improved blind sight, which will be out this fall. But in the meantime, if you want to do the Stroop test, just go search on the internet for Stroop test, and you can download a card and do it that way. Have your prediction on the back of it.
Yeah, it's S-T-R-O-U-P, Stroop.
Yeah, Stroop test. That's what it's called. Okay, I have a prediction. Inside this envelope, I have a printed prediction. So there's no nail writers for the magicians. I have a word. And, sir, I would like you to name a simple word. Don't make it something real complex like Tintin nebulation, or too simple like E or V or something like that. Just a simple word, maybe 6, 7, 8 letters, or 4 or 5, whatever you want. And inside this envelope will be a printed prediction of the very word you've called out. Now, we prearranged nothing for the show about doing this, did we? So if there is a printed prediction inside this envelope, you're going to be pretty well amazed, right?
Right.
So any word, go ahead.
Truck.
Truck.
The word is truck.
T-R-U-C-K, truck. Now, if the word truck was inside this envelope, you're going to be amazed, would you not?
I would.
Okay. Inside this envelope is, in this dictionary somewhere, the word truck. Yes, it's a pretty good trick. Let me see if I'll find the word here so I can prove it to you. I know Austin had a trick to where the word was missing from the dictionary. Well, okay, this one's in the dictionary. I just have to find it. There's tinted nebulation, the word I told you not to name. Okay. Going slow here. Now, you could have named any word you wanted to, correct?
Yes.
And I had no way of knowing what you would name. Now, before the lecture, I have to go here slow so I can find it, otherwise I'll miss it. Before the lecture, I took a magic marker that does write, not the one I used in Blind Sight. And what I did was, maybe it's on this other page here. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, it was down in the corner. I couldn't even see the thing. All right. I just want to mark the book, put the bookmark here. Could you come up here for a second? Just step to this table here. I want to show you here. Now, look here at my hands. See, there's nothing in my hands here. You step to the side here so we can see this. I took a magic marker before the show, and I actually circled the word, and I bookmarked it for you, at the word truck. And I want you, first of all, to ruffle through the dictionary. Just ruffle through it and see if you see any marks there. There are no marks in the dictionary.
No marks.
Except where I have a bookmark. And if you'll open up the bookmark, and if you'll look there, and if we can show it to the camera there, let me see here, get it down here so we can see it. Okay, can we zoom in here? You'll see that there is one word circled in the dictionary. What is it?
Truck.
Okay, this is pre-dictionary, and I always try to give credit where credit is due. This is my handling on something. Frank Valesco, a lot of you may have heard of him, he's down in Florida, and he approached me and he said he had this great idea, and he asked me could I improve upon it, and he showed me his gimmick, and I bought the rights from him, and I said yes, I have some ideas, and I gave him credit for it, and I put it on the market, and it's been a great trick. So I'm going to show you his gimmick, and I'm going to show you my handling, which is my handling. It's not his original handling, but he had the idea for the original gimmick, which I give him credit for. What this is, and I have this on the market, but you can make this up yourself. Now, even close up here, if I'm trying to get here really close here, as close as I can to the camera here. Okay. This looks like an actual magic marker circle around. And if I go up close to the audience, when I do lectures from magicians, I even go up real close and let you see this. But see, actually, guys, this is not really a mark. This is a sticker. Yes, it's a sticker. And when you buy the trick from the dealers, we give you no-tear paper. But I found something that's just as good. On the back of this is a dollar bill, because you don't want to use regular paper because paper will tear, and you'll see why in a moment. I use a dollar bill because it's durable. So I take a magic marker and I draw a black circle on a dollar bill, like so. And then, just so you know what I use, because it's hard, if you go to your drugstore, these are the little scissors used for clipping fingernails and trimming stuff. Only way you can cut this out of a dollar bill is you have to get a little pair of scissors like this, and a lot of people have these in their medicine cabinet. You very carefully cut out the dollar bill, so you have this circle here. All right, and the other thing that is a little hard to find, although you can just use black cardboard, you need a black bookmark. So it can just be black cardboard, but a black bookmark. Now on the back of this, I have put repositional glue. That's what they sell for scrapbooks and stuff, and a lot of magic tricks nowadays have repositional glue. I coat this repositional glue, and it's stuck on the bottom of here, like so. And this is sticking out of the back of the book. And you have it inside the envelope. And then you got a really funny bit of business. You have someone think of any word. You say it's the printed words inside this envelope. Will you be amazed? And then you say, yes, inside this dictionary is the words you're thinking of. And as you pull this out, your fingers are coming around here, and you're clipping this and pulling them out. So this gimmick is like so, but it's completely concealed from the front. This will allow you to, with no problem, to thumb through the dictionary and find that person's word. And you say, I want to show it's really in the dictionary. And once you find the word here, and watch what happens here. I'm going to tilt down so you can see this. Let's say the word was locust. Your finger comes over and your thumb just gently presses. Don't try to press it down. They'll think you're doing nail writing. You just gently press. You put the bookmark there, and then you close the book. And when you close the book, you squeeze and you give the person the book. And when the person opens the book, that sticker at this point is stuck around the word. And that looks like a real magic marker. Now, here's something that's not in the directions. And this, once again, is how, I'm going to tell you guys now, how to give the dictionary away. Because you can go to the dollar store and buy dictionaries. You can give the dollar store dictionary away and the actual word it's circled in there. Ooh. You're saying, no way, the actual word is circled with a real magic marker and they can keep it as a souvenir? Yes, sir, you can do that. And I'm going to tell you how. Oh, I love this. This is almost too good to give away, but, you know. I'm going to reveal this. What you do is, and that's why you have a black marker here. Once you take the book here, you hold the book like this, and I'm giving you an exposed view. Your marker comes over just like this, and it picks up, and it sticks to the back. So you used to do that because you just come over like this from the front, you know, and you've stole the mark off, and then you drop it on the table face down. It's very clean. I mean, it happens. You just come over here and I'll show you that again, how clean that is and how easy it is. Because you're wondering what's going to be coming next. And you might have your thumb here on the tip of it. You just come over and just do like that, and it's gone. And it's tossed on the table. You say, I'm going to let you keep the dictionary as a souvenir. I'm going to autograph it for you. You reach in your pocket and you pull out a magic marker. And as soon as you get the magic marker, you circle the word and you write your name in big letters and say, Devin Knight. Here you go, there's a souvenir. You've actually circled the damn word right under his nose. Sign your name on it, give it back to him. He could be see, you know, there's no gimmicks. God, it's circled. He actually did it. You know,
That's great. Yeah.
Oh, I love this dictionary. Okay, my next trick is called, it's done with tarot cards. It's based on my trick, Foretold. And I'm going to be quite honest about this. Although I love Foretold, a lot of mentalists thought it was one of the greatest things ever released. There are some people who say, well, that's not much of a trick. You know, it's only 5 symbols and he's just guessing. I mean, big deal. So I sit down and said, well, maybe they got a point there. Although a lot of people who are professional mentalists are using Foretold. I said, oh, I'm going to do something differently here. Let's do it with a deck of tarot cards. And people said also with Foretold, well, I knew the symbols, so that gave me clues. I said, well, let's do away with any clues. And they thought too, well, you know, you're using colors and stuff. So I said, well, let's do it without using colors. As you know, guys, tarot cards, I have 78 cards, not 52, 78 cards. And I wonder if you can zoom in here, and if you play with the tarot cards and things, you know that almost every card in the deck, in fact, 69 of them, have got people on them. 69 tarot cards have got people on them. At least half of them have animals such as lions, birds, dogs, crabs, birds, and things. But before I do anything, I'm gonna be using more people here. Would you just come up here, please, to the side of the table here? I'm going to ask you to shuffle those cards over and over and over as much as you like. Okay, and there's my ink pen there. Okay. That's good. Okay, and okay, you can sit back down now. Okay. What I'm going to do is I need 4 people. Let's see, Robert, can you see without glasses, or can you have good vision? Because these cards have got a small writing, so, you know, it's like when you're doing book tests. I got to make sure you can see well. Would you come on up here, please? Okay, come on up here. Let me get my ink pen here. Hey, I want you to take those cards for a second. Okay. Deal the top 5. I want to make sure I can't see them. Deal the top 5 face up on the table. And see, you're doing it behind the book, so I can't see what the cards are. No way. And the camera, don't try to shoot behind there, because I don't want anyone to say, I know what the cards are. Okay, you got 5 cards? Mm-hmm. And I need 3 other people here. How about you guys on the road? 3 of you. You just come on up here. And put the cards back on the table there. Okay, I'm going to come a little bit closer so I'm in the camera shot, but I'm behind these. Okay, guys, form a row here so you can all see the cards here. You may have to get close. Yeah, get close and personal. Okay, now I want you guys to think of a card and don't change your mind because it's going to confuse me. So you've all got a card. Once you've got a card, just say, yeah, I've got a card. Don't change your mind.
Yes.
Okay, now I need you guys to focus because I said half the cards have animals on them. Most of them have people. But I want you to look at your card. If your card has an animal on it, okay, I want you to look at the animal. Just focus it in your mind. And you got to visualize it. So everyone look at me now. Look at me. I want you to close your eyes and visualize that animal in your mind. See it moving around or something. If you're thinking of an animal, close your eyes. Just concentrate. Keep concentrating. I'm trying to get the thoughts here. I think I've got them. Okay, open your eyes. Okay, everyone's got your eyes open. Now I'm going to try to visualize the people. If there's a person in your card, and it's got to be a whole person, like not just a body part, like a hand. Some cards have got a foot or just a hand. It's got to be a whole person. So if your card's got a whole person on it, just visualize that. Close your eyes and see that person talking to you. Close your eyes and see that person talking. Okay, open your eyes. Now, I think you'd have to agree, I've done no questions, really. I've had you visualize people and animals, and almost every card has got animals and people on them. So there can be no clues there. Would you agree? I mean, I showed you almost every card has got people. So the fact that I had you close your eyes and visualize a person or an animal would tell me nothing. And this is as close to real mind reading as I can get. But I may miss. I'm not just saying this, I may miss. But I have a strange impression that all 4 of you guys are thinking of the same card. Would that be amazing if all 4 of you were thinking of the same card? I think all 4 of you are thinking of the Fool. What are you thinking of?
The Fool.
What are you thinking of?
The Fool. The Fool. The Fool.
Thank you. Okay, you guys can sit down. You can sit down.
Yeah.
Now, really, in all humility here, I think that is as close to real mind reading as you can get. Because let me point out something, because that was a true statement. 69 of the cards have got people on them. Over 50 cards have got animals on them. I don't ask for any colors. I just say, close your eyes and visualize people. Visualize animals. That's all you do. You don't ask anything else, just those 2 things. And yet, without fail, you get them all correct. And most of the time, all people are thinking of the same card. Is that strong or is that strong? I mean,
That's good.
and this is called tarot sight, and a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people didn't buy this because some people didn't like foretold. Now, I'm going to show you how the trick is done, but here's the good news. It's a little complex, but I sell a book. It's a PDF file. It's called Tarot Sight. It sells for $20. You got it free tonight in your download. The $20 book. Yes, I've included that. Free of charge, the download on how to do this. Now, let me explain to you how this is done. And for those in the audience here, I have printed up charts. It's not the complete method, but I printed up charts here, which I will pass around when the lecture is over. But, okay, let's look at the first phase here. 5 cards. If we zoom in close to this so we can see this better. The Ace of Clubs. Okay, I got to move this so I can see more. Okay, the Ace of Clubs. I wish we can get closer here. The Moon. And this is important. You have to write these down at home. The Fool, the High Priestess, and the 3 of Hearts, or 3 of Swords. All right, I stacked these cards. So the ace is on the bottom. Now, let me point out one thing to you here. This ace here, it's hard to see, but there's a bird on it. There's no people. Okay, there's a bird. It's a dove at the top here. You can see the dove. It's got an animal on this card, all right? The moon here has got bunches of animals here. There's a couple of dogs running around. There's a crab. The fool has got a dog here. It's only one dog, and that's got a person. The high priestess has no animals, and it's got a person. And, of course, this has no people, no animals. I stacked these so the fool is in the middle, and this is on the bottom, and the ace of clubs is on the top. What I do is I then put these 5 cards underneath this pad, and I put the pad on the table so it's overlapping here. So all I have to do is I point out, and this is very important when you do this, to point out to the audience so they can see this for real, that almost every card, and this is true in this deck, there are 69 cards with people on them. You have the cards actually shuffled, and as the cards are being shuffled, you casually pick up this book holding the cards clipped underneath here. And when you take the cards back, you place them under the pad for a second, or transfer so you can go to your pocket and pull out an ink pen and drop it on the table. And then you take the pad back off and you hand the cards to somebody. Now your stack of cards is on the table. So he's going to deal them off, and as he deals them off, they'll come out in the order. Now, if you look here, you'll see the fool is in the middle. That's why you guys thought of it. It's in the middle. But also, this card isn't very appealing. The end cards are not usually thought of. So I don't want these cards thought of at all possible. So the 3 cards in the middle are thought of here. Now, here's the system. This may seem impossible, but it works. And this took, a long time to figure out. It's based on closing your eyes and open them. If someone is, what I'm going to do is on the pad here, and I'm going to show you this here. I simply number like 1, 2, 3, 4. I look at the people and I say, now I'm going to try to visualize the animals. Look at your card. If there's an animal on your card, close your eyes and visualize it. Okay? Now, if you got your eyes closed, I simply jot a 1 down like this. If your eyes are open, I jot down a 0. That's easy to remember because you got open eyes. Okay? So I do that. This is something Mark Salem and I came up with. He says sometimes the lighting on stage, it's hard to see if people's got their eyes closed. He had a brilliant idea on doing this. And he'd say sometimes the lights on stage will confuse you because even though your eyes are closed, you're trying to visualize, you'll see the light from stage come over. So he says, close your eyes and put your hands over your eyes so you block out any outside light coming through your skin. That's brilliant, So you know who's got their eyes closed because he's got their hands over their eyes. And he does my foretold, and he does this also, but that's one of the things he does. He has people put their hands over their eyes. And he put that in print, so that's why I'm telling you, he's got that in print, so I can tell you, you can put your hands over your eyes. Because sometimes, on stage, the stage lights will come down. It's hard for you to see who's got their eyes closed, so that's a good out. Then you look at the people and you say, okay, I want you to visualize, and you point out because in this card here, the ace of clubs, it's got a hand sticking out holding the cup, even though it's got a bird up there. So you point out, it may be a foot. Actually, there's no card that's got a foot on it, but you just lie and say, it might just be a foot or a hand. That's not a person. Make sure it's a whole person. And if that's the case, you close your eyes and visualize the person talking to you. Everyone's got their eyes closed. I'll simply jot down this. Oh, number 3 still had his eyes open. So now I've got 11, 11, 0, 0, 11. That's all it takes. I look at on my list here. I see number 11 means the fool. If you're thinking 0, 0, where you never closed your eyes because there was no animal, there was no person, you're thinking of the 3 of Swords. So just by doing those 2 calls there, by you keeping your eyes open and closed, I'm able to determine exactly what cards you're thinking of. And what makes it so strong is the fact that I don't even know what the cards are. And since every card, seems to have a person on it, even if you're a super and brilliant, intelligent person, you're saying, how in the world could he know anything from just asking, visualize animals and people? I mean, it's brilliant, people. I mean, I love it. I mean, it's, wow. It's like real mind reading. And there's no fishing, no stupid questions. Nothing's written down. You just think and close your eyes.
That's cool. So, Devin, I'm pretty good with binary math, which is this is kind of based on. My mind is telling me that if there are 5 selections and there are only 2 digits in your binary, one of them has got to be the same. And
okay.
If I look at the cards, so what are the 5 possibilities? You got 0, 0. You got.
Okay. Now listen, and this is still the same thing here. This happens very seldom. But if you do this and your numbers are, it comes up 1, 0, giving you a 10. Mm-hmm. Okay. Generally, within the second call, you get most people. In the case that you get a 10, you got to do another call, but it's the same thing. You say, I got the impression there were more than one animal in some of your people's thoughts. So if your card has more than one animal, close your, and only one card does.
That's kind of what I thought it was. Yeah.
You say, close your eyes and see those animals chasing each other. So people close their eyes, it becomes 101, that's the moon. And if the person does not close their eyes, then they're thinking of the Ace of Clubs because that had the dove at the top.
Yeah.
So it's almost never happens. I mean, I've been doing this trick hundreds of times. 2 calls, you always do it. But in the event that you've got the value of 10, you got to do one more call. But it sounds like the same thing. Let's go back to the animals. It looks like some of you are thinking more than one animal. If you see 2 or 3 animals in your card, close your eyes and see them chasing each other. So the people who close their eyes, tell you it's the moon. The people who don't close their eyes, it's the other one. And of course, the ones that's 0, 0, 11 and stuff, 0, 1, you know who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Very cool.
And with the download, I gave you Tyro's site. It covers all that. And for the attendees tonight who don't get the download, I've given you a chart with the what you need, and it's got the codes on it. So you can take this home, and you'll be able to do it. All right. Okay, let's go to something else now. Let's see what I'm looking for. Oh yeah, put this in my pocket. Give me just a second to clear the table here a bit. All right, we're going to do something now I really like. Do you have a ring on, ma'am? I'd like to have a lady follow up. Do you have a, come up here, what kind of ring do you have? Okay, how big is it? Okay, just. Okay, I can work with that. Okay, come on up here. Normally when we do magical barred objects, such as, if you bar a coin or dollar bill, people will mark their name on the dollar bill or take a knife and it will scratch the coin or something. I don't want to scratch your ring You probably wouldn't like that. So we need to mark the ring somehow. So I'm going to take this can of spray paint. And I'm going to try to spray your initials on it. What are your initials?
BW.
BW. So is this a valuable ring?
Yes.
Oh, let me look at it. I tell you what, I'll give you a receipt. Let me hold the ring here for a second. I'll write your receipt in just a few moments here if I have to. But let me get the paint can again. Wait a second. That sounds different, doesn't it? That's not the same sound. Look at that. I don't hear the ball anymore in here, do you?
No.
I think that's the ball from the paint can because you don't hear it rattling anymore. That sounds like a ring rattling, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You know why you hear that? Because your ring is now inside the paint can, I'm sorry to say. But don't worry. There's a hole in the can. It really is. It's right there at the nozzle. And all we have to do is wait for the ring to dissolve. And then I can spray it out here. I think it's going to dissolve here about now. Okay, here we go. Shh. There's your ring. I think it... Shake it. Nothing there. I think we got it. Of course, your rings and molecules here. It's all in the wet paint here. But don't worry. Before I can give you the ring, I will just sign this receipt here. Just saying, you know, sign your name there that you've got the receipt for the ring here. So just sign your name there. Okay. Okay. Turn it upside down here, and let's. I got to let the paint dry here for a second. Look, the paint is gone, and there's your name, and there's your ring. This is a very baffling trick for lay people, and it's for a lot of magicians too, because how is this possible? You heard the ball, you know, the marble inside rattling, and then, you know, that noise stopped. How could that be? And then you hear the ring rattling inside of it, and then you spray it out, and then there's nothing. Seems impossible, doesn't it? And I'm going to show you how to make this up. This is made up in a small spray can, but I'm going to show you how to do it with the big one so it'll show up better here. What you do is you get a small spray can, but I said I'm using a big one so it'll show up better. And you spray all the paint out of it, outdoors preferably. You know, go outdoors, spray all the paint out of it. And then you have to take one of those really sharp knives or something, and you want to cut this out so it's like a little V here, so you can pivot it up. And then inside of here, you're putting, if I can get the thing out of here, it doesn't want to come out, but what I put in here is a metal bolt, a steel bolt. And then once you put it back in, you press this down. You go to Walmart, a craft store, you get some of the black stick-em felt, and you cut out a circle, and you glue it on the bottom of the can, and then it looks normal. So when you shake the can, that sounds like how it's supposed to sound. So now, this has got a bolt inside of it. So that sounds normal. I also have an earth magnet. It's on the table, you know, behind something. So as I'm shaking this, and I'm going to go into the routine later, but as I'm shaking this goes down, picks up the magnet. So when I pick it up later, when the magnet catches it, you know, the sound stops. It's pretty baffling there how that happens here. Now what I've done is in the lid, I've taken some black cardboard and I put a penny here. and I glued the black card around so it shakes back and forth this way. So now, actually, I can create 3 sounds. Bottle full of paint, put on the magnet, start shaking. The sound changes to now a ring. When you take off the lid, set it down. After you spray out the ring, there's no sound. So you've created 3 different sounds, or I should say lack of sound. 2 sounds and a lack of sound from one bottle. Now here's the way the thing works. You have this all set here. You have the ring on the table. Sorry, not the ring, but the magnet, the paint can. You have an ink pen in your pocket. This is the out to lunch card set. This is a half a card here. You put it here, put rubber bands around it. It's just got a black circle on it. And this is on your table like this. You have this finger palm, the ball. So you invite up someone from the audience. And there were some really funny gags here that I couldn't do because she was not wearing a diamond. But I want to tell you these gags because most people have doubt a diamond ring. And this is really, really funny. Because you ask them, does someone have a diamond ring I could borrow for a second? So bring it up here. And as the person brings up the diamond ring, you look at it and say, this is really nice. You can do the typical ring jokes if you want to. And you say, I'm going to do something really amazing. Now, you remember a long time ago in the Superman movie, Superman took a chunk of coal and squeezed it so hard, he changed it to a diamond with all the pressure. You remember that in the movies? Well, I'm going to do it in reverse. I'm going to change your diamond back into a little hunk of coal with the aid of this black spray paint. And you pick it up and you say, and I'm going to do my best to just, and you shake this, and you put it down, and I said, I'm going to do, and you put it on top of the magnet, and say, I'm going to try to be so precise, I'm just going to spray the diamond black and leave the ring untouched. And as you bring your hands together and look at the ring, see, you've got this ball finger palm, you finger palm or thumb palm the ring, and you drop the ball into your fist, and you hold it up like this. Now, actually, the ball is here, but it looks like you're doing this because you say, is this valuable? And you say, oh, it's okay, I'll write you a receipt. And you go to the pocket, leaving the ring, and you bring out the ink pen. Okay, and you drop it on the table. So now the ring is out of play. It's in your pocket. It looks like here. And you look at your fingers this way like you're holding the ring. You say, okay, now let me shake this up some more. And you start doing this, and then the sound audibly changes to something different. And you think, that doesn't sound like the ball. And you just slowly open your hand and lower it down and let the lady look down, and she sees the ball. She's surprised because her ring is gone. And you say, wait a moment. That's not your ring. That looks like the ball from inside the paint can. One thing I wanted to mention to you, just a side note here. When you take these balls out, the marbles, they're going to be black because they were coated with paint. It probably makes more sense to, have a little black ball, but I took cleaning fluid and I took the paint off the ball because I think it's clash to show a little. I don't know. Did you guys ever stop to think about when I did the trick? That should have been black instead of clear. No, but it looks classier than just a black ball, and it also shows up better. So you say, oh, this must be the ball that was inside the can. And you say, wait a minute. Your ring must be inside here. But don't worry, there's a hole. And then you snap off the lid, being careful once you snap it off not to do like this, but set it down the table so it doesn't rattle. So at this point, you say, see, there's a nozzle right there. You put it in your hand. And you guys heard me spray the paint, right? You heard me wrong. You come over here and you pick it up. Now, the audience is convinced this is a full can of spray paint here. You pick it up and you look down and you go in a motion like this. And you go, shh, shh. Looking down, shh. That sound real? I mean, it's just, you pick it up, shh. And that's pretty amazing because to the audience, you just sprayed out some paint and now there's no sound from the can. It's not possible, but yet you did it. And then you say, well, the ring is right there. And you have the person sign this, and then I'll show this exposed view, like I put my name here, you know, Devin, blah, blah, blah. And you say, we'll let the paint dry, so you pull the thing up, and as you turn your hand over, you're pulling it out like so, so it's concealed, you know, and you drop this on the table, and you hold it here, and you say, I'll just let the paint dry, and as you're shaking this, this comes back into your pocket, and you finger palm the ring, and as you're shaking this, you simply drop the card on top of it, clip the ring behind it, fold the card in half, you know, quarters, and then shake it, and then the ring comes out, and you unfold it, and the circle is gone, and there you go. And I tell you, folks, this is something that I do in a lot of my shows, because a lot of people do ring tricks with barred rings. This is something most people have never seen. And when you make a ring appear inside of a paint can, I mean, it's just so ridiculous. It is a novel effect they've never seen, and it's one they will talk about, and this has got me a lot of bookings. Yes, sir?
After you've sprayed all the paint out of the can and you've opened it up, do you have to do anything inside the can or clean it out?
No.
Yeah, I'm going to repeat the question because we didn't have a microphone for you. After you've opened up the can and you've taken out the ball from the inside, do you have to do anything to the inside of the can itself, or do you just let the paint dry that's in there?
Once you've done that, before I like to just let the paint, before I push flat, then I just leave the can the next day. If you buy the fast drying paint, the paint will dry completely inside the can.
Yeah, and there's nothing to worry about, even if that bolt that's inside there is knocking around with the paint. You never see that again once that can's resealed. So, yeah. Yep.
And occasionally, I mean, this does happen. I mean, since you brought that up, occasionally the bolt, you know, knocking around may do that, knock something loose, and when you shake it, you may hear like some paint flakes shaking around, so the sound's not completely gone. It's not a problem. You know, all you got to do. That was restickable, you know, felt. You simply peel the felt off, you pull this up, and you shake the can, and the flakes come out. It's good as new, because there's a little sound of flakes on that one. So if that happens, you just take off the bottom, just shake out the flakes, put it back in, put it back on. So that is ring and paint can. No other questions about that? Okay. All right. Oh yes, okay. I've been saving the good stuff to last. Well, it's not the end of the lecture, but I've been saving the really good stuff to last, I hope. All right. This next trick, I mean, this is using this box. I was going to show you earlier, I've taken a picture of this on my cell phone, and I can actually show it to people. You can show the picture of the cell phone. Inside this box is a deck of cards, and it's a folded playing card. So I've taken out one card from the deck of cards, I folded it up, put it inside the box, and there's a $20 bill inside there too. Now the game is this, and this is a game. In a few moments, let me move this out of the way here. Can you bring your chair up here? Because I want you to sit over here, because you're going to play a game here in a few moments with us. Let me move these cards out of the way.
Hey, Devin, do you need this table at all? This side table?
No.
Let me get rid of this.
Okay. Now here's the game I call Deal or No Deal. And after we do this, I have some history. I want to give proper credit to how this has come together. But this is called Deal or No Deal. And I want to show you this box. There are no holes in it. It's completely sealed. You can see that. And this box is going to stay here in full view at the table. As I said, I've removed one card from the deck inside of the box. One card only. Okay, and I'm going to get these out of the way too, just to make room for things. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take another deck of cards. I'm going to spread them on the table so that you can see they're all different. Then I'll tell you what the game is. I'm going to go through these cards. I'm going to give you a free choice of any card. It's positively no force, and you'll find out later when I show you the secret. You can change your mind as much as you like. So I'm going to go through slow. And now here's the way the game works. Let's say, for example, you take the 10 of hearts as your selected card. If the one card I have folded in that box is anything but the 10 of hearts, you get the $20 bill. If the folded card in the box is the 10 of hearts, you lose. You have 51 chances of winning, only 1 chance of losing. Does that sound fair, guys? And remember, I'm going to show you one more time here. This box is completely sealed all the way around, top and bottom. There's nothing. No way in, no way out unless you take the lid off. So now, let me slide up here a little bit. And I'm going to let you see the cards. You can take any card, even the obvious Queen of Hearts if you like. I don't care, just any card.
Just name one.
Just name one you see here.
10 of spades.
The 10 of spades. Would you like to change your mind?
Yes.
All right.
4 clubs. I'm good.
You're good. You can change your mind again.
I can't.
Okay, now remember, you could have gone through the deck and you could have selected any card in here, but you chose the 4. Would you hold it up and show the camera so everyone can see that, please? Okay, and you hang on to that because I'm going to ask you in a few moments to tell me what the rules were again. In this box over here, which is sealed up here, in this box is what?
Folded up card.
And if the folded up card is the 4 clubs, you lose, right?
I do not get the $20.
But if it's any other card in the deck, and I'm going to show the lid here. Now see my hands are empty. And I want you to tilt the box towards your camera because I don't, just tilt it at the back here so they can see that. A little bit more, a little bit. You see the folded card there, the $20 bill? Okay, that's good, that's good. Take the deck out. Now to win the $20, I'll make it easy. Just run through that deck and just take out the 4 clubs and you've won. Because the 4 clubs is in there, then you know it's not the folded card. Just very quickly, just run through there and get the 4 clubs.
Spades.
No, 4 spaces again. It's going to be 4 clubs. Just go through there. It's not in there, but quit. Okay. No, it's not in there.
It's not in there.
1 card is missing, and if we want to take time, you can count them. It would be 51 cards. Really, it would be 51 cards because 1 card is missing. Pull out the $20 bill. I don't want to put my hand in the box. Leave it on the table there for right now. And we'll put the cards over it. Tilt up the box in to show there's only 1 folded card inside of it. If that card is the 4 clubs, you lose. Open it up. I don't want to even touch the card.
4 clubs.
Oh, well. You may go back to your seat. I'm going to explain how this was done now. And plus, I want to give you a little history behind the trick. Put the $20 back. Now I can afford dinner after the show. Alrighty. Alrighty, this is my Stand the Panda box, which is sold by dealers. But this is a box that's telescopic. You don't have to buy this from dealers. This is those gifts box, and by being telescopic, that means the lid is exactly the same size as the base. A lot of talcum powders and body soaps and things come in boxes like this, so you can find them in stores. So you got to have a box like this. Most of them have the little slot here for putting your fingers in to lift up. If not, you put in your own. Believe it or not, you can load anything inside this sealed box. Now the trick is called Stand the Panda box, and using things like a nail writer, you can have a bigger item here, or you can have prediction. You can take your fingers and take a nail writer, write like the Ace of Hearts. Someone names a card. You put the Ace of Hearts, and then you like do the box. Well, I'm going to show you how, and the prediction will be inside the box. The reason for that is that anything in this box gets sucked into it. Now, I'm going to try to show you a rear view here. Anything stuck into here, like a slip of paper, you just got to go right here. Now, when the box is shaken, the air pressure actually sucks it up into the box, so when you take off the lid, it's inside there. Isn't that clever? So, I don't really have a folded card in the box, but I have the box here. And also, so the bottom will come out easy, I have a deck of cards in here, so it'll drop out quicker. So all I have in the box is a $20 bill, and I have a deck of cards. So this way, the cards, make it drop out easy and fast without having to shake it. So at this point, and I'm going to show you here an exposed view because you're not going to see at the camera here. Okay, I'm just pushing it here. It's all it is. But look, if I let the lid, I don't have to do anything, but yet, that folded card's now inside the box. It just gets sucked in. I mean, it's physics here. So what I have done is that I've taken the selected card, and I'll tell you how I do that in a moment. But I have the selected card that's folded. No, I don't have an index or anything like that. It's much cleverer than that. But all I got to do is I just got to put the card here, and the box is overlapping. So there's the card. I just simply load it in as I pick up the box. See, it's completely sealed, very smooth. And I just let the lid fall off. I don't want to put my hand inside the box. Inside there's the folded card. All right. Now let me give you some history on this. When I first came out with this trick, a lot of people were buying this in the pan in the box. And a friend of mine who lives in Taiwan, a lot of you know of him, the Magic Cafe, his name is James Lin. And he came up with an idea called Beat the Box. And it was using a Menticle deck. So we'd have duplicate cards. So he would have a card selected from the Menticle deck, and then using a mercury fold, I think he would fold the card and then he would load it into the box. And he had the idea also of taking a camera, taking a photograph of the box. So James, I promised you I'd give you full credit for giving me the idea. And okay, you got full credit. But since then, I mean, I didn't like the idea of the Menticle deck because I wanted to be able to spread the cards out and show them all different. And plus I wanted the idea of being able to show that the card was missing from the deck inside of here. With the Menticle deck, you just had the folded card inside of there and a $20 bill. I mean, it was a great idea, and it was brilliant of him to think of it, but I think what I've done takes it a step further. And taking the step further, I have to give the other almost forgotten, unsung hero of magic, Eddie Joseph, Premonition.
Premonition, yep.
And what I've done is I've taken James's idea, Beat the Box, did away with the Menticle box, or Menticle to do the trick. I've applied Premonition. Now, Premonition of Eddie Joseph is probably one of the greatest card tricks ever invented. A lot of people don't remember him, but a lot of people still remember Premonition. Now, what you do is you get 2 decks of cards, and you remove you take 26 cards out of the deck, and then from the first deck. Then you take 26 cards, same 26 cards out of the second deck. And then you stack them so they're 26 cards apart. So these cards here, let me spread them out now so we can see these better. This way they'll show better for the camera. Any card you touch, the duplicate is exactly 26 cards away. So in other words, if I'm going through these cards and you say the 7, I put it here. And I say, you could have selected any card you like in the deck. And I'm just quickly, fanning through them. And as I get near the bottom, I tilt up. See, there's the duplicate 7. And I just cut the cards at that point. All right? In this case, it was the 4. So I cut the 4 to the bottom. And I left the 4 clubs on the table here. So let me get the 4 clubs again. Okay, there it is. So there's his card. He selected 4 clubs. On the bottom is this. Now, as you tell him, hold the card so the audience can see it. I'm simply getting the break here like I did with my dissolving aces, and I'm simply going back like this. And that duplicate card is just going into my lap. Now, you can do Mercury folds if you're standing up, but I'm just saying this is what I do. As he's showing the card, I've got all the cover in the world. One hand and simply fold the card up like that in my lap. So the card is being folded up, and all I got to do is I just go over here. The box is overlapping. The card comes over. I just stick it into the little slot. I bring it around so I see it's completely sealed, and I just... Now I have a duplicate of his card inside the box. Now the other 26 cards I didn't use, I've got these in this deck 26 cards apart.
Minus one, right?
What's
so
that?
Minus one, so you end up with 51.
Yeah, I take out another card because sometimes I have people count them. So I say, to win, all you have to do is go through here and find the 4 clubs. Now, this is like Eddie Joseph said. The cards are duplicated. The guy doesn't see there's a second 4 spades because he's looking for the 4 clubs. And he can't find it. So it's like Eddie Joseph said. They go right through the cards. They don't even see them. And you can say, if you want to count them, if the person count the cards, 51 cards, 1 card is missing. Then let him reach in the box, open up the card, and see it's the 4 card. Because you put your hand, people, switch, you switch the cards. This is completely hands off. I mean, this is just so impossible. And thank you, James, for giving me the idea, because I said, this has turned into one of the most amazing things I do in my show, and audiences love it. So this is called Deal or No Deal. And it's in my, in my lecture notes, full detail on how to do this, how to stack the decks, everything you need to know. Plus, I give you, there's even a book test you can do with this. I give you 5 or 6 different things to do with these type boxes. And they're called the Sand the Panda, and if you can't find a box like this, Penguin sells them for $15. So just plug for Penguin, they're sponsoring me. They sell the boxes if you want to buy one. Okay. Can it get any better? I don't know. I hope that you guys will really like this. And I have more too. I mean, we've been going for 2.5 hours. I said I'm going for like 3 hours. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's go.
We got lots more good stuff to show you here. But this is the one that Dan wanted to see the most of everything I was going to be doing here. This is my version of any card, any number. There's no holy grail. I mean, there's a lot of attempts and things, but this card, or this deck, is going to be right here. And I'm going to ask you, no. Can I use your Dan? Because you want to see it. Come over here.
Yeah,
I'm going to use
right.
Dan.
All right.
Because he said this is what he was wanting to see.
I'm gonna grab a chair from over. Oh no, I'm gonna grab this chair from over here.
Okay.
Let me grab this one. That way I don't have to hold it over anybody's head. And, there we go. All right, sweet.
I will not touch that deck again.
Okay.
I have placed those cards in special order that I think. Mm-hmm. I think a card that you're going to select at random is going to be at a certain position there in the deck. And I don't need my glasses for this. I'm just going to shuffle the cards here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up here a little bit because I can shuffle this better up. Get all the cards out of here. Okay. See, they're all mixed here. Mm-hmm. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing this, because this way I'm doing a Hindu shuffle because you can see I'm actually pulling out blocks from let me give a deck a cut here. I'm going to pull out more blocks. I'm going to shuffle. I'm doing this so you can see this is not a fake shuffle. I'm actually shuffling, and I'm cutting at different spots here. So, I'm shuffling. I'm pulling out more cards here. Now, you're a magician. Are you convinced? I mean, I'm doing real shuffles here.
Yeah, it's good. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to cut again, and I'll shuffle some more. So I'm actually shuffling this deck, so if there was a stack, the stack is gone now. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to shuffle until I feel like stopping. And there, I think I should stop now. Put the cards there.
Hey.
I'm not going to open them up. I'm just putting them there. 'Cause I'm going to ask you now to reach over here and start cutting off. You can put them here to the side. Just start cutting off, blocks of cards like this. And just keep cutting into the deck.
Okay.
And anytime you want to stop, just go ahead and stop. Don't run out of cards.
I'm obnoxious. I'm going to stop after that card.
Okay. Would you agree that was a free choice?
Yeah.
I don't want to touch that card. Turn it face up.
Face up?
Yes. Put it there. Now, you told me as a magician, those cards, those blue cards are actually shuffled. And I did a Hindu shuffle because overhand shuffles can be faked. I was showing you, and after every Hindu shuffle, I give the deck a real cut, and I shuffle again. So you can see all the cards are being mixed. Had you stopped me one card sooner, this amount of cards would be completely different. Would you agree that nobody could have known how many cards we left on the table?
I agree.
That was completely random. Had you stopped one card less or one card more?
I almost did.
Would you, and also deal them face up, would you count these cards face up on the table aloud?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No one could have known that. So would we all agree that 7 was a random number? Something that you could never have known. I'm going to ask you to take that red deck. Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to deal them face up until you get. How many cards here?
7.
Okay, deal them. Still 6 cards face up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Now, if this was the 9, the 7th card was the 9 of hearts, would you be amazed?
It's pretty good.
Just a little bit?
Yeah.
I would too.
Yeah.
Got my fingers crossed. Turn it over.
Oh my God.
Is that a good trick?
That's a great trick.
Is that a fooler?
Yeah, it's a fooler. That's
I don't
nice.
want to. I don't want.
That's nice.
I just
Don't
got-
tell them. No, don't tell them. They don't deserve to know.
I just got to say. I just got to say this. I just got to say this.
Yeah.
I put this out as dumbfounded. I mean, the book. It's a $20 book, and you get the book free. You get the book free to download.
That's good.
When I first came out on this trick, the Magic Cafe tore this trick apart and said that was the worst card trick they'd ever seen. That would not fool anyone. That it was completely obvious how it was done. What a stupid method. Boy, Devin Knight's going downhill. That was just the pits. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
I think it's a damn good card trick.
It is. It is. It's a damn good card trick. And as a matter of fact, I already know the method. So, but having said that, you're going to tell them this, so I might as well tell them this. There's no gimmicks. You're 2 regular decks of cards, so you can't get much better than that for this kind of thing. And it truly is hands off on that one deck. And it depends on how much the performer wants to put into the first deck. They can use any kind of shuffling techniques that they're familiar with. I'm going to let you take over, right? and tell them all about it, because I love this.
That I didn't tell you that you can do, and I'm going to tell you how to do it. You can shuffle the red deck.
Yeah. If you want
beforehand.
to shuffle that one and then put it aside, you can do that.
But I don't like to do that because at that point it becomes an amazing coincidence. Because if I do it, I'm going to shuffle so I feel psychically inclined to stop. I think it's stronger to say, I put the cards in a special position, I'm not going to touch them again, and you don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll take over.
Sweet. Take over. All right.
Alrighty. This is based on mirror decks, and the stacks are destroyed now, so I'm not going to reset them, but this will make sense to you. And also, I said at home, if you bought the lecture, dumbfounded the trick, I sell as a PDF for $20. It's got the stacks and everything you need, but I am going to go over it here roughly. What I am using is a mirror stack 2 decks. And to make it easy, and what I do, even though it makes no difference, I stack the blue deck in 8 kings order. It doesn't have to be, but I mean, it's just easy for me to do. I mean, I just stack it 8 kings order. I stack the red deck in 8 kings order. And then once I do that, I duel both cards, decks face up, just to make sure, they match perfectly, because they've got to match. I mean, you may screw up and not do it. If you do, it's not going to work. Once this deck is in the same order, you then deal the cards in reverse on the table like this. So the 8 of clubs will be on top of this deck. The 8 of clubs will be on the bottom of this one. So that's what's called the mirror stack. Ed Merlo, I think, developed this idea. So you have one deck that's completely mirror stack. And this is put into the red box, and you never touch this. Okay. You see it? Dan, you see how did you buy Dumbfounded?
Oh, yeah, I did, from library.com.
Okay, that's how you know how this is
Yeah,
done. Okay.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I still wanted everybody else to see it because despite what other people had to say about it, it is a fantastic way to approach the any card at any number. It's great. It solves a lot of the problems with the trick right there.
Okay, now with this deck, and this is something that you have to remember to do. You have to throw the mirror stack off by 1. So you take the top card and put it on the bottom. Otherwise, the trick does not work. You have to take the top card and you put it on the bottom. Now, remember, these bottom cards here are the same as the top cards in the red deck. So you want the person to select the card from the bottom of the deck. You can shuffle the tops all you like. I mean, you can do overhand shuffles and things like that. It doesn't matter what you do, but I like doing that, the Hindu shuffles, because I just pull out, I just leave the bottom third of the cards alone. I just shuffle like this. And this is a false cut. I mean, you can do any false cut you like. This is a false cut. So then I continue shuffling like this and say, look, okay, good, I'm going to do like this. I'm going to cut them again. So I make another false cut. And I continue until I feel like I'm going to stop. And I say, are you convinced these cards are all being shuffled? Because that's, and the reason they don't shuffle the cards, you say, I'm going to use my psychic ability, and I'm going to shuffle till my ability tells me I should stop here. So that's why you're shuffling, but you're letting people see you're shuffling the cards. And I said, this looks really real. And when you cut the cards using a false cut like I'm doing, and, okay, sorry, Penguin, here's a little plug. This false cut that I'm doing, I'm pivoting over, I'm coming up like this, I'm dropping to the bottom. Only one place to get it, library.com. It's called The Running Force. It's a video on how to do the false cut. I mean, you can do any false cut, but if you like my false cut, you can get, it's called Running False Cut, or Running False Cut, yeah, from library.com. It's only $4, so if you want to know how to do it, and I'm showing you, it's a little hard to, it looks, I mean, if I do this right now, I mean, this looks really, it looks like a real cut, doesn't it? But it's, see, there's the 9 on the bottom, look here. And I can do this, I can cut in the middle, I can cut here. You see, I haven't really cut the cards at all. It's still there. It's a great false cut. And it can be used to force. But anyhow, just false shuffle the cards any way you want to. You put them here on the table and you say, now look, I want you to cut off blocks of cards like so. And as you're demonstrating, you cut off at least half of the cards. You say, continue. So the person can cut off the cards, and if you stop doing it, change your mind, you want to cut some more? Okay, I'll cut again. Once the person has done that, you say, okay, that's your card. I'm not going to touch it. Turn it face up. He puts it on the table here. And you say, if you're not happy, you can choose again. If he says, no, I want a different card, put it down. Okay, cut off another block. He can do that. Okay, this is what we want. Okay, at that point, you say that was a free choice. Nobody could have known. Had you stopped at that 4, it would have been, more cards. You chose another card here. All right, cards are left. 3 cards. Take out the red cards here. So he takes out the red cards. And if the stack is still in order. No, we destroyed the stack a while ago when we did the thing. But when you pull out the cards, because these are in reverse order, when the person counts down to the third card, it's going to be the same card. It is a mind blower. So that's called, actually I call the trick dumbfounded. It's my any card at any number. It's my version. And
Sweet. And yeah, go on.
And for the people out in the magic world who say this trick sucks, I don't care. You don't like
Yeah,
it,
right.
I don't care.
yeah. Do the better one that you know, I guess, right? But I'm just going to mention for the guys that are really heavily into false shuffling. Obviously, you can retain the entire stack of the deck and make it look like you're shuffling. This trick is dependent upon people believing that the deck is shuffled, because then they can't connect the dots together. So you can use a shuffle of half of the deck, as Devin does, or if you're really good with a false shuffle and you can convince people that those cards are shuffled, you can have a full stack, stay stack, or not the stay stack because that's a different thing, but staying in that stack as the mirror stack in the case, and then you can have the spectator cut anywhere, deep, shallow, whatever, absolutely anywhere. Turn that card over. They count up the rest of the cards, and it will match in the other deck. If you do your dealing right, it resets instantly, just so you know. If you deal both of the decks properly, you work out those things yourself. The one thing that I'm going to mention the reason that you don't want to do what I just suggested, the reason you want to do it the way that Devin does, is because any card at any number, fascinating for us, boring for regular people, okay? The thing that's most boring for regular people is counting. Devin's eliminated all of the numbers over 20. So their number's always going to be nice and low, and it's always going to match, and it's always going to count quick. So I prefer, really shuffling half of the deck like you do it.
In most cases, I know from experience, having done this trick hundreds of times, worst case scenario, you maybe have 10 or 12 cards. Most people cut down to where they have 7 or 8 cards. So it's done very quickly,
Yep.
and it's still amazing.
Yep, great. And you're left with 2 regular decks. You can
Right.
do whatever you want. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now we're going to get away from the cards and mentalism and go into something very simple here. I'm going to stand up for this, so you may have to zoom back here a little bit. Yes, I do magic too, so I'm going to show you something. Now, this is a newspaper. This is something that I developed, as Dan mentioned, I think, on the preview, when I was a child, I was developing magic and stuff. I actually invented this when I was like 9 years old. This is actually something I did when I was 9 years old, and here's the effect. There was another version put out on the market by Tennant's called Squircle, but this is so much better. It really is, and you'll see. Okay, now look. Okay, I've cut out this, and I can open up and I can actually show you, there's a square. You can see that. And you can see it's right here. Now watch this. I've been creating for a long time. I said, this is something I did when I was 9 years old. And I said later I saw Tannen's had a version of Squircle, which I'm not knocking the trick, but it had really bad angle problems.
Yeah, it was by Ken Brook. And
see with mine here, you can see single edges all the way around. Yep. The Tannen version, you have double papers. You couldn't do that. Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to show you how to make this up. And you need some templates. And the templates are sold by dealers for $20. But I have made a scan of the templates as a PDF file, and I'm going to give them to you free when the lecture's over. So I got the templates here, so you don't have to buy them. Boy, Penguin's going to hate me. God, why do we bring that guy when we can't sell anything? He knows how to make everything. We want to sell the templates for $20. Well, they won't charge them. They discount everything, but he's giving away free. Who books him? Fire. Okay, these are the templates here. You're going to need, okay, I'm going to show you how it's made. You're going to need 2 duplicate newspapers. And what you do is, first of all, using this little template, which I'm just showing you the basic idea. Well, not that one. Okay, this one here. Okay. You put this template here on your paper, and then you fold it down like this, and you crease it. And you do that on both sides. So this is one template for doing this. So this will give you a paper. So now we're going to do what's known in origami as the valley fold. So this is going in, and you really crease it. So the paper is going to go in like this when you fold it. You're also going to cut a circle out of here. And to help you with the circle, I have a little template that you get with the download. You put here, you draw a half circle, and you cut that out, and then you got a circle. So once you fold it in, like this one's being folded, as you see the circle folds inside and no one can see it. From the duplicate paper, using this template, you like put it up here in the corner or in the middle, and you draw a line, and you cut this out so it's like this actually. And then taking a glue stick, you glue this on to this one so they line up. Okay? So it's going to look like, oh, I don't have a line up yet, but you carefully line up your glue stick so it looks lined up here. And then using the final one, you open the paper, and using this template, you draw the rectangle, which will make the square later.
You do it with like a pencil line, so it can't be seen.
Yes, so pencil lines here. So when I was on my lecture tour, I told people, go home and figure this out yourself. I mean, here's the idea. But I'm saving you guys the trouble. I'm giving you the actual templates. As a PDF file, you just print it out and cut it out paper and put it on cardstock. And you can do this in a few minutes here. So once you glue that together, guys, let me have one that's made up here over here again. So here's the gimmick, like so. So when you pick up a newspaper, and you can do this also as a mental effect. As Max Maven said, you can turn any magic into a mental effect. Well, here's how to do it. Take an ESP deck, which I was going to do this, but I misplaced my ESP cards I thought I had around here. Force the circle. And tell the person that using your skills, you're going to take a person and cut out the exact design that they thought of. So you force the circle. And when you show the paper here, you open it up. This is the back of it, but you can take your hand and show both sides because your hand goes over the circle, so you can show both sides. And you fold it back together, and I'm showing the inside. As you fold it back together, that circle is going down. And you tell the person, concentrate. And I'll try to cut out exactly. It said even if it's a wavy line, it says I'll be able to cut out the wavy lines or the star. You've seen people cut stars out of newspaper. I can cut out any design you're thinking. And then don't say it's the square. You say, okay, I think I've cut out what you're thinking of. In fact, I'm positively sure I've got it. Don't say I've cut out the square. Just say, I've cut out your design. Put this on the table. And say, now so I can get my applause, would you show the people the design? And the guy's going to have a smirk. You're wrong. I cut out, there's a circle. That's exactly what I cut out, the circle. Thank you very much. I'm 100% correct. And there you have it. And before I put this away, I just want to show this one more time so you can really appreciate this. Now, I'll even do it almost in slow motion. Okay, watch this change again, folks. You see the squares cut out here. Watch when I open the paper up. Just like, that looks so impossible. Mm-hmm. It looks like there's no way in the world you can do that. And then you can do like this and this and this. And it's clean. Alrighty, moving on.
And somebody wrote in and wants me to mention Starkle.
Okay.
I'm just mentioning it. Starkle.
Different effect.
Go on.
I was thinking, when you cut the circle,
Sean? Yeah?
Ever think of the man in the moon? Or
Yeah, right. With the
goofy line you came
no, don't mess up his stuff with my goofy lines. Ignore those people, Devin.
Okay. All right, using a newspaper, this is something U.F. Grant first developed, Al Mann improved upon it, and then I improved on Al Mann's ideas. And this, I'm going to admit right now, up front, this is something, it's better for magicians. It's one of those mental effects I like for the really intellectual audiences. I mean, some lay people may find the effect a little boring. Magicians will find it baffling as hell. They'll have no clue how it's done. If you're working at a magic convention or something, I mean, this is something that will fool people because everyone knows how Grant's clip line has worked. I mean, it's an old, if you don't, they all know it. And you're going to fool everybody, magicians who know this. And I'm going to show this trick to you right now. And because it uses newspaper, I do have to put on my glasses because and before I do this, I have two predictions. Prediction number one, could I give this to you to hold? It doesn't matter. Just hang on. And would you hold prediction number one? I will not touch those predictions again. Alrighty. I have two newspaper columns. We can zoom in. And I've written a 1 on the bottom and a 2. You can see those are on the bottom here. That's so we can know which paper is which. Now, I'm going to line these up here. I'm going to cut off the top so both columns are exactly the same size here. Now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to ask you to come close. And I want the camera to come in close so we can see this. Because I want you to be able to read as I'm cutting. Now come on up here close so you can see this. Because I'm going to start clipping here off the top. What's the top lines here?
So you're doomed to...
Yeah, so I'm going to actually cut here off the top. Okay. Can you keep reading?
Just start at the beginning?
Yeah.
Right.
And for those of you who know U.F. Grant's clip line or some of the other versions of them, you can't do this. You cannot have someone read the lines as you're clipping them. All right, now, I don't want you to see the lines. You can see, they're still there. Okay, just step back now. And I'm going to keep cutting until you tell me where to stop. And see, the 2 is still here. I'm just cutting till you want to tell me where to stop. Tell me before I get to the 2 because I don't want to cut the 2 away. Are you sure? Okay. And I'm going to put the 1 on the bottom here. Okay, come back up here, please. This time I'm going to start cutting from the bottom. Okay, can you read those lines?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, read the bottom line right now. Just go ahead and read it.
Unless the union asks for it.
Okay, and step over there. I'm gonna cut 1 line at a time because we're running out of paper here. Just tell me where to stop after I finish cutting.
Stop.
There?
Yeah, it's good.
You're fine with that. Okay, you've got number 2, right? The paper?
Yeah.
Okay, come over here, please. I want you to take slip number 2. And you have number 1.
Yeah.
Would you take slip number... Stand on both sides of the table here. Come up here so we can see this. Would you open slip number 2 and read what's on it?
The last wing will read.
Last line, okay. That's line. That's
The last line will read, guarding us against.
Okay, would you read the last line that he stopped me cutting at?
Guarding us against.
And if you want to zoom on the camera, I don't know if you can see that. It might be, I don't think we can see that, but you can see it does say guarding us
Yes,
against.
yeah.
Okay. I thought that was pretty darn amazing. Okay, would you open up number 1 and read it? Remember, I cut from the top and the bottom.
The top line will be investigation in baseball.
Okay, would you read the top line?
Investigation in baseball.
Thank you. You may go back. And you see, go ahead and sit down, please. You may sit down. And you can see the numbers are still on here. Now, if you guys are familiar with clip line, this should have blown you out of the water. Because clip line, the column is upside down. And a lot of magicians had done clip line, and they'd written it on forums and stuff. They said they've been caught because people close up could see the line was upside down. The original Grant trick was done with want ads. Al Mann, when he was married before he got divorced, showed it to his wife using the Grant version. He was across the room, and she said, the column's upside down. She could tell because of the want ads, you know. And he said, boy, this trick sucks. He said, I got to come up with a better method. And he did, and he shared it with me, and he released it as classified. And then I showed him some new ideas, and then I released mine, which was called Extraordinary Clip Line, which is a $20 manuscript, but it's free in the download, the whole manuscript. They're going to lock me up after this, but okay, I'm going to show you the ideas that Al and I come up with, and then I'll show you my improvements here. And this is why we use two columns. Okay, I have one column numbered 2, and I have one column numbered 1. And the reason for that is that if the 2 was upside down, you could see that, right? But if the 1 column is upside down, you can't tell anything. Okay? Now, column number 2 here, this is normal. I don't know if we can zoom in closer, but I want you to see this is normal. You know, you can read this. However, column number 1, which I have the 1 written on, this is upside down. I've cut out a column. I've pasted it to the back of this. So by pasting it to the top of this, it looks like a normal column. But if you can really get it closer here, this is actually upside. Yeah, you can see it in the camera now. I can see that. This is actually upside down. So now we're going back to the original Grant idea because the column's upside down. But when you hold them like this, you know, from stage, you can't see anything. So now we're going to line up the columns like so, and so we're going to cut them so they're even. And before I do this, what I predicted is, I have, from the bottom of the columns, I have predicted, even though it's upside down, column number 1, I have written the line saying that will be the top line of column 1. And also, I've written the bottom line of column 2 here as my prediction. Now here's what's going to happen. You bring a person up, and he can read the things, and that's what's pretty amazing. You start clipping off the top of it, letting the person see this stuff. And you draw your 1 and 2 near the bottom, so the bottom third, that's very important. And you keep clipping, and you keep clipping till the person says stop. Now here's the column. Now remember, column 1 is upside down. And you don't affect the prediction because you've been cutting the top here, which is upside down. Now here's the cool thing. You bring your hands down like this and you slide off column 1, you put it on the bottom, and then you lift up from the back of it and flip it around, and now column 1 is upright. And because the 1 is just a straight line, it looks identical. So now this is upright, but column 2 is upside down. But you don't know that. You know, it's upside down. So now you're going to say, I'm going to start cutting from the bottom, and they can read this stuff. And after you cut, tell me where to stop anywhere. And once the person says stop, you bring it down, and you just take column 2 here, which is upside down, and you pivot around, say, here, take this. And as you pivot around, you're actually reversing it. So when the person takes it from you, if you look at it, it's completely invisible. It's upside down. Here, just take that. The person turns it up, and the prediction's going to match. And you hand this one to that person. Something, I like the 1 and 2. I mean, that's something that I did. But Al had another idea, which I want to share with you. This is very, very clever. And if you don't want to use the 1 and 2, what he did was, he had 2 columns, and he put a T for times, and on the other column, he used an H for the Herald, or an N for the news. So the H or the N, if turned upside down, looks the same. And Al did something else too, which it did not work out as well. He used to put a whole column of like H's down here, and he'd put a whole columns of T's. All right, a lot of stuff Al wrote about he didn't do in the real world. I mean, he was a great inventor, but a lot of things he put out he did not perform in the real world. And his idea of having a column of ends and things, when you actually cut it, sometimes you'd be cutting to an end and you reversed it, something looked amiss. It didn't look right. I found out after much experimenting that the cleanest way to do this was to put a 2 and a 1 with no embellishments at the bottom third of the page. No matter where the person stops you, it would always turn out, you know, looking right. You'd see a 1 and a 2 at the bottom, and there was no idea that you had the column turned upside down. Everything would turn out right. So this is called double clip line. Any questions about it? Good Lord, I've gone for over 3 hours. All right, well, I've only got one more trick because I was planning on a 3-hour lecture. That's what they said they hoped I would do, 3 hours. So I've got one more trick I'm going to do for you. And this involves my
and then
girl.
you and I are going to play a full game of chess, right? While everybody watches.
This involves my girlfriend, Becky, who is a psychic. She really is psychic. And what I did was, and I need my glasses for this because I can't read fine print without my glasses. Before I came to the lecture, I give Becky a chess book. And this chess book is one of the most popular books on chess. It's called The Complete Book of Chess Strategy, and it's one of the best-selling books on chess strategy. You can go on Amazon and buy this. It's like $25. So what I did was I gave her a red crayon and told her to go through the book, get a psychic impression of one symbol, like maybe the white king, and draw a red crayon mark around the circle. In other words, circle just one mark in the book, and then take a pencil or paper, you know, a piece of paper, and write down the page it's on here and put it on this slip of paper, which she has done. Now, listen closely. I am going to give this book to someone to hold, and I'm not going to touch it again for the rest of the evening. So I can't do anything sneaky because the book is in your hand. So this can't be like Predictionary. It's in your hand. So could I give this book to you, please? Sure. Don't read Becky's notes yet. Just hold the book closed there. All right. Dan, you want to help again?
Yeah, sure.
Come on up here.
All right.
You play chess, right?
Yep.
All right. What we're going to do is, and
Come over here.
I'm going to try to move the table here back just a little bit here because I want you to stand in front of the table with your back
There you are.
turned so you're blocking the view of the audience here.
Show everybody my good side.
Okay, just yeah, sort of stand close to the table.
It's a joke.
So,
There is no good side.
so that you're blocking, and I'm going to give you a paper bag here, and I'm going to step away too here. Now, Van, I'm not going to look here, and that way you're blocking the view of the audience. I'm going to step out of it. You can just go ahead and shoot Dan because that's what we're. So we can see what I can do. Okay, Dan, I want you. I don't want the audience to see what you're doing, but I want you to get a chess piece.
Okay. Anyone?
Yes, and put it into the bag, but don't let anyone see it. Just open the bag. You know.
Open the bag?
Yeah,
Something I learned in my old job.
Okay, hold the bag in front of your body so no one can see what you're doing. And pick up a chess piece and put it inside there. Just one piece.
Done.
And then close up the bag.
Okay.
Once you've done that, because you can then turn around here and face the audience here. Okay. Did anyone see the piece yet?
Yeah, a couple of people did. How dare you?
Let me have the note here from Becky. The piece I circled is on page 39. See it, Becky? That's what she wrote.
Yep.
I'm not touching the book. Would you turn to page 39, please, and see if she circled? Don't tell us what it is. Just see if she has circled a piece on the book with a red crayon.
Yes.
There is. Would you hold your finger there and ruffle the little book and see if any other marks in the book anywhere? Just. Nothing else. Okay. Now, don't say anything. I don't know what's in the bag myself. Okay, open the book again. Okay, what is the piece that's circled? Okay,
He doesn't play chess?
it's a white bishop. Okay.
Ask the kid.
And I want Dan to see this too here, and we'll
Yeah.
show the camera here.
Yeah, I see it.
The white bishop, and you see that's, you can touch it. It's actually red crayon here. And if we can zoom here close, we can see that the white bishop is circled with a red crayon. If I roll the book here, you can see that there are no other marks anywhere in the book. Becky said that you would select, hopefully, the piece she circled. Now, folks, if the white bishop was in that bag, that would be pretty impressive. Would you show us what's in the bag?
Reluctantly. It's a white bishop. Well done.
I'm going to explain this. This trick I have on the market. It's available from Penguin. If you buy everything, including the book and stuff, it's about $200. I mean, it's well worth it. I also have a PDF that's available. I think it's about $20. However, the PDF on how to make this is, and the download. God, Chris is going to kick me off library.com and say, "You give all my stuff away free." I'm not going to make any money. I can't sell this stuff. You're giving it away free. Okay, this is a great trick. It's one of my favorites. In fact, anytime I'm doing a mentalism show, pure mentalism, this is what I close the show with. Your Mensa type people, they love it. The more if you were doing a magic show, even for a chess club, this is brilliant. And the method is going to blow you away. This is just, I love it. Okay, first of all, the question comes up, well, how do you know the chess piece? How did Becky know the chess piece? Well, Becky didn't know the chess piece, but it sure looked like it. And I'll tell you how that is done in just a moment here. The way I know the chess piece is that I know a chessboard. I know how a chessboard is set up. And here's the chessboard. Dan is blocking the chessboard, or the person from the audience. I'm standing over here. I don't see what he's doing. I mean, I'm over here. Now, what you don't realize is that I can see the chessboard at a 45-degree angle. I don't have to be standing here. I can be standing here and I can look at Dan, and from this position, I can see behind his back. I can see the chessboard. The audience does not realize, I mean, I say, look, I'm here. No one knows, the piece you've selected. I bet you didn't realize I could see the board behind your back.
Well, I'm a little smarter than your average bear. I've already got this one sussed out, but I got to tell you, I'm using it. I'm definitely using this.
Okay. I'm just very quickly, I'm glancing back there. And he had removed the white bishop. So I just spoke to him, and I just glanced at the board. I know the chessboard. It took me 1 second, even less than that, to see what piece was missing. It could be any. It didn't matter what he took. He could have taken the black king from that position. Made no difference whatsoever. I mean, as I'm speaking to him, I just glance in a split second. I see the piece that's missing from the board, and I know exactly what it is. How do I know where it's at in the book?
Well, that's what I want to know. That's the part that I want to know.
The book here looks completely normal. Now, there's a way you have to mark the book and gimmick the book, which I will show you, but it's explained in full detail in the free PDF you're getting. But anyhow, what I've done is I have circled all the pieces. Now, when I say all the pieces, I didn't have to circle a whole row of rooks. I just only had to circle one black rook because you have duplicate pieces on the board. So I took not a red crayon, I lied. I took a red pencil. Yes, sir, I took a red pencil. And on page 39, let's find page 39 here. You see the red bishop, the white, red circles around the red circle around the white bishop. Otherwise, ruffle through, there's nothing to see in the book. Now, I said this was red crayon because I took the red pencil and then I took that repositional glue we use for dictionary and I just put a dab of it on top of the white bishop. So the page would now stick together. You can see there, look, see, it's stuck now. The pages are at the bottom, so when I say look for it, she circled it in red crayon. Now, when you pulled it apart, it was a little tacky.
Yes.
But that created no suspicion in your mind whatsoever, did it? Why? Because it was red crayon.
Yep.
Wax would make the book stick together. So I've gone through the book. I've gone through about every 20 pages, and I've circled every single chess piece in the book with a red pencil, and then I put a little dab of repositional glue. And that doesn't matter when you open the book up, you can hold a spot, you can ruffle through it and see every page, and there's no mark to find anywhere. Say your applause.
Wait, there's one more thing. The part that I don't know. Where's the crib? Where's the crib? Because I know you're not using your memory.
I could.
Memories for suckers.
Okay. On the back of the paper bag.
Yeah.
Look closely here, guys. So after I've given you the bag, and I still got my hand here, and you do this, it's still in my hand. As I'm adjusting you, I look behind, I see the bishop is missing. I just glance down as I'm putting it on the table. And actually, I kid you not, I said, yeah, you're right, memories is for suckers. I have done this trick so many times, I've almost got the numbers memorized.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, this is like a reference, just in case I will forget, but I can, yeah. For example, I can tell you right now, the Black Knight's on page 270. Turn to page 270. There's a reason for that, too. Just turn to page 270. Because I said I have them all memorized, but you don't have to, but... So I've got the whole book memorized. But for those of you who have not read Harry Lorraine's books, you need the easy way out. You put a cue list on the back of this. All right. Now here's the real work behind this. And you really surprised me by taking the white bishop.
Oh, yeah?
You really did. This is something that's very important to realize. Most people, when you say, turn your back to the table, I don't want anyone in the audience to see this. 90% of the people, and I'm talking from experience, take a black one.
Yeah, right.
Because it's concealed.
Yeah. That's
almost nobody ever, unless you're really strange,
I'm obnoxious, I'm telling you.
reaches across the table and takes a white piece because they're afraid someone might see, because you say, no, make sure no one can see what you're doing. If they do it, someone from the side might see that. So, and only 10% of the cases will the person take a white one. They will take a black one. Almost guaranteed. As a rule, rooks are never taken because there's a whole row that's too obvious, and people, I'm not going to take a rook. They don't normally take the king or queen because it's like the queen, of hearts or something. They think that's so suspicious. The same thing goes back to the card forces. We'll go to the table here, or let me step back here again. If I'm behind here, people, like on cards, they don't usually take the things on the end. We know from the card forces and things, people go for the middle. That means they're going to go for the black knight or the bishop or the white, the knights and bishops. Almost never are the king or queen selected because they are the most selected. I have done this trick probably 1,000 times. I have found that most, I would say probably 70% of the time, 90% of the time it's a black thing. 70% of the time, it's either going to be a knight or it's going to be the bishop. Black knight or black bishop. I found the odds are slightly more in favor of the black knight because the bishop is ugly. Mm-hmm. The knight is appealing. Mm-hmm. So, in having done this trick over 1,000 times, I have found that 70% of the time, the black knight is selected. I did this, when I did my Magic Club tour. When I did over 150 clubs, I found even with the magicians, generally 70% of the time, they were all taking the black knight because of that. So, what I'm saying is this. On my slip of paper here, if we can zoom in here on this, it says, the piece I circled is on page 270. That's the black knight. So if the person picks up the black knight, this is inside the book. All right? And remember, that's going to happen 70% of the time. Really, if you do it in real life, you're going to see that. So when that happens, you say, look, I'm not going to touch the book. I'm not even going to touch your note. Would you please read the note aloud? The piece I circled on page 270. I didn't touch the note. Turn to the book. 270. So when the black knight is chosen, which is 70% of the time, you've got an effect where you didn't touch the book, you didn't touch your note, and it's you cannot explain it. It's completely impossible. Now, in the few times that they do not select the black knight or the black bishop, and someone does something really weird, Bosch is like taking the white bishop. You take the note, and because you have the book memorized or a cue list, and you put your finger over the page number, and this is so bold. You say the piece I circled on page 39, that's what I saw on the cue list, but I had it memorized. And your finger, okay, zoom in here, guys. Your finger's over the page, and you show it to the person next to you, and you say, see, that's what Becky wrote. And I showed you to it, and you see the piece I circled, but you couldn't see the number because my thumb was over it. But you've got to hold the paper somewhere, right? Just your thumb happened to be over the page number. I mean, that's no big deal. He never notices. No one ever notices. That's what she wrote. You say, oh yeah, that's what she wrote. Put it away. And I mentioned this in the directions, the PDF I gave you. If you want to be really sneaky, you can have a pocket index, and you can have every slip of paper, with all the numbers on it. So after you do the bluff there, say that's what you wrote, you put it in your pocket, and then when the show's over, you throw the note on the table, so if someone picks up, it has the actual page number. That's what you call gilding the lily. Yeah. But I mean, you can do that if you want to. I try to cover everything. So I guess I've run up. Well, as Lady Godiva said as she got off her horse, I've come to my close. Thank you.
Fantastic. Hey, Devin. Devin, come on over here.
Okay.
Have a seat. Oh, yes. Thanks. That was awesome. There's so much good stuff. Everybody's been raving about it. You've covered everything so well, so we haven't had a lot of questions that have had to be asked because you're very, very good at teaching in detail all of these things. But I have some things just to talk to you about because, in our talks before, you told me that you got started really young in magic and that you were creating almost from the beginning because you found that there were a lot of effects that were just easy to figure out, at least for you.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
The first magic shows I ever watched, I don't know, I'm probably aging myself here, dating myself. A long time ago, Don and Michi had a show on television, NBC. It was called International Showtime. Anyone remember that?
No.
These guys.
Okay, there we go. There's something that's before my time. That doesn't happen very often to me.
and I was like probably 5, 6 years old when that show was on. And I would watch it. And this is one thing I remember vividly to this day. They had a guy, and it was actually Keith Clark. I remember that. It was Keith Clark. He had a great cigarette routine, you know. He would produce, everyone remember? Was that also too far back? Keith Clark, he wrote a book called Celebrated Cigarettes. Of course, most cigarette magic is passé nowadays, but it was, you know, thumb palming and stuff.
Right.
And he was producing lit cigarettes, and I said, wow, I like that. I can do that. But
you were 5. Which back then it was okay. If you were 5, you could smoke.
No, I didn't have any cigarettes. But this is actually what I did. When the show was over, I went into my bedroom, and I came outside, and I said, Mommy, Daddy, come out here. I want to show you something. And I started showing my hands empty, and I reached out into the air, and I was producing crayons for my fingertips. I'd reach out, there's a crayon, you know. I'd push it to my ear, and it disappeared. There's another crayon. I was actually doing the same routine that he did on television. Well, not exactly, pretty close.
Sure.
Producing crayons, making them vanish, making them appear, because it was quite obvious that he was doing thumb palming, what he was doing, and I figured out how, and I was only like 5 or 6, and I knew that's what he was doing.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
And
to pick up on sleight of hand.
They had Neil Foster doing the zombie.
Yeah.
It didn't take me long. I went to my bedroom. I said, after watching the show, I got a coat hanger and a rubber ball, and I put it, you know, stuck it on the coat hanger. And I came out, you know, here's what I saw on television. I was doing the zombie.
That's great. What were your parents like? Were they in show business at all? Did they understand, you know, why you were doing magic all of a sudden?
No, my parents did not want me to be a magician. They said, you got to go up and be a doctor or something. And I remember my father, this is really something funny here, because my father said, we used to watch Mark Wilson. You do remember Mark Wilson?
Well, of course. He actually did get me started with...
okay.
Yeah.
We was watching Mark Wilson, and I asked my dad, I said, wow, you know, how's he doing that? And he said, son, it's simple. His hand is moving faster than your eye. I said, really? He said, yeah, his hand moves faster than your eye. So I went in my bedroom.
Just try not to see your hand.
Yeah, how can I move my hands? Oh, he was all wrong.
Yeah, right.
But over watching Mark Wilson, I mean, Mark Wilson was my inspiration too, even though he was not the first magician International Showtime was. But Mark Wilson, God bless him, his tricks did not fool me. I mean, even when I was like 6 and 7, I knew how they were being done. And I started making up things. He did like the Kuma tubes at one time. I got some tin cans, cut off the lids, and I was doing Kuma tubes. You know?
Yeah, well, which, you know, I'm sure many people don't even know what that one is. That's also from a while back. It was.
But I think basically, I mean, I'm not going to say I could figure out every single trick, but I'm saying the majority of things I was watching, I could look at it and I could figure it out.
Yeah.
My parents took me to church, you know, with them on Sunday morning. They gave me papers to draw on. I would sit there in church, and I remember this vividly. I'd be drawing palms, how to palm balls. I had never read a magic book in my life, and I was actually drawing, you know, diagrams on how to conceal things, how to make things vanish. Wow. And that's what I did, you know, instead of listening to the minister, I was drawing. They wouldn't keep you quiet, so I'd be drawing all this magic stuff.
You also told me a funny and somewhat frightening story about you were doing a school show way back when you were young, in your teens, and it was a fundraiser for the school, but you showed up and it was locked.
Oh, okay, yes, I got it. Okay. Well, it was at a school. It was a fire department fundraiser.
Okay.
And they'd contacted the principal, and they'd rented the school and stuff. And the show was set to go on at 7 o'clock. And I was there at 4 o'clock to set up, and the janitor didn't show up to unlock the building. And finally at 6 o'clock, you know, we were saying, it takes, you know, an hour and a half to set the show up. What are we going to do? And of course, I did a lot of escapes in my act. And at that time, I was a really skilled escape artist, and I knew locksmithing. In fact, I bought a course in locksmithing, and I happened to have my handy-dandy locksmithing kit in the van. So I went and got the kit, and I actually picked open the front door.
To go in to set up your show.
And I went into the school, and I set it up. And the janitor, God bless his heart, he showed up at 5 to 7. And I said, why are you here? He said, the show's at 7 o'clock. He said, what, I have to be here earlier for it? I said, I had to set up. And he said, who let you in the school? He said, I didn't unlock the door. He says, you don't have a right to be in here until I unlock the door. And I said, well, I had to set the show up. And he says, you're trespassing. He says, I'm going to call the police and have you arrested. And I said, look, I got to do a show. And he said, take everything on stage back outdoors. We had to take everything on stage back outdoors, the whole show. And then he locked the doors.
And then he had to open it up and let you back in again.
He said, now you can go in. We took the whole show back in. Luckily, the illusions were put together, so we rolled them back down the hall.
Yeah.
The show was 45 minutes late because of this jerk. And we did the show, but that actually happened.
Oh, man. And you also had a horrific thing
Yeah,
happen with
I know what you... Let me tell you.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So help me, guys. I mean, this is a really true story. Back in the early days, and this we'll probably get to this later about Owl Man, before I was doing mentalism, Copperfield was my big competition. He and I were really good friends in the early days. This is
You're
back
originally from New York area, right? Is that
yes,
is that right?
I was. And this is back when Copperfield was going to magic conventions. You know, he would go to SAM. He would, go to the dealer's rooms, walk around. That's back when everyone could meet with him and stuff. So, he knew me and stuff. And what I know, I was on tour a lot in amusement business. I don't know if they still put that out or not, but they would have all the weekly grosses.
Mm-hmm.
And with my touring show, it was like 20 illusions. They had like 13 people, and I was never at Copperfield because Copperfield would be at the top, like number 1 or number 2. And they had like the top 50, and you would see down at the bottom, there I was, maybe position 34 or something. But at least I was on the top 50 for highest grossing touring shows. So, I mean, he knew who I was. But anyhow, getting back to this, I was touring my illusion show, and something that I used, and this is something that you guys might not know because I'm creating. Everyone does it nowadays, but I will go on record for saying I am the creator of this special effect. I had the creation illusion, which it's been done for ages, the creation illusion. I had Abbott's build this for me. And I had the idea, why not, after the skeleton is shown, the sides fall down, why not have the skeleton sit up and turn its head towards the audience?
Mm-hmm.
So Abbott said, wow, that's a clever idea. So they put a spring into the skeleton, made its head turn. It was locked in. So once the sides were falling down, you'd see the skeleton. I would release a lever. The skeleton would sit up and its head would turn to the audience. Everyone would, ah!
Yeah.
It scared people to death because it's set up. So I was the first person doing that. I said, nowadays you see a lot of people doing that. But I mean, as far as I know, I was the originator of the skeleton sitting up and turning its head. But anyhow, long story short here. The cremation uses flash powder. And we were using that, and I'd run out of flash powder. And we had a show that night. And I was talking to a guy backstage, and he was one of the sponsors. I said, oh, I'm out of flash powder. And he said, well, use gunpowder. And I said, won't that explode? He said, no. He says, you don't pack it. He says, you just put it on the paper plate and, spread it out. And he said, nothing will happen. And he said, you can go downstairs to the gun shop and you can buy some gunpowder. I said, okay. So I came into the school with the gunpowder, and I put it into the cremation. And we doing the show. And during the show, there was the illusion. I lowered down the sides. I had my torch. I put it into the cremation. Suddenly, boom! I swear, the lid actually blew up about 15 feet in the air. It blew the sides off the illusion. The girl inside, she was scared.
Yeah.
What the hell happened here? The gunpowder actually blew the illusion apart.
God.
But she was protected because, the explosion went outward.
Right.
She was inside the base. But it blew it, and there was so much smoke. The smoke set off the smoke alarm. Now, here's the bad thing. This was in a school auditorium they had rented. The principal didn't come to the show. He had the key to turn off the smoke alarm.
And he's not there.
He's not there. He's 15 miles down the road. So the smoke alarm, everyone's going to the lobby. And they have to call the principal. And meanwhile, the fire department's arriving. Because the school smoke alarm is tied into the fire department.
So did you get everybody's attention?
Yeah, well, finally, they got the principal about 45 minutes later. He arrived there. the auditorium got clear. They turned off the the alarm. We continued the show, and it went over great.
Did the skeleton sit up? No.
The skeleton was ruined. It was blown all apart.
Flew all apart. You did mention Al Mann. You were his protege, and you've taken a lot of his effects even further and developed them even further. And you showed us some touches tonight. And you also told me that you've got maybe 100 more things that you've got planned, that you want to put together eventually and release.
Yes, I've already got the methods worked out.
Yeah.
The thing is, well, I've been on tour so much, I've been doing so many shows that I had a lot of things that are on notes, but my lecture tour all over the country and stuff is over for now. I've played most places 2 or 3 times, and everyone's seen me, so I'm basically done with my lecture tour. And this pretty well put the final seal on it, because now everyone's seen me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but we're expecting all kinds of great new things, coming soon.
Yes, I have right now roughly over 100 items along the lines that I've shown you. But unfortunately, due to the fact that it seems like nowadays there's 20 new tricks come out every day, it looks like, or every week. I have 100 new items, but I cannot put them on the market because I have to sit down and write the directions. I have graphic artists who design the covers and stuff. And also, if I put them out all next week, you'd say, wow, that's 100 items. I wish I could buy them all, but I'll have to choose 1 or 2 I like best.
Yeah.
So I've got to space them out over the next 3 or 4 years, releasing maybe 1 every month.
Well, I mean, you mentioned something there. I like in your material that I've gotten from you that things are well written out, well illustrated. All the details are covered. All the nuances are in there. It's not incomplete. It's not slapped together. It's fully functional and very practical stuff that comes at kind of a different direction. Using some really interesting methods like we've seen tonight. Another thing that I wanted to mention that we don't get to see it all the time is some really nice classic sleight of hand using classic methodology, like the dissolving aces, which is just a beautiful routine to know. It's one of those things that you should just practice at home, and anytime. You can do that for friends while you're out at dinner if you want to, or something like that. I used to love that when I was getting started in magic. Just instead of your regular card trick, learn to dissolve the aces. Your friends are going to love it, And I think that you covered each of those pieces very, very nicely in the way that you've done it. You've had some theatrical training, right?
Yeah, I attended the Guild of Theatrical Arts in New York City.
Yeah, and to me, I can sense it because your magic is structured. It has a good beginning, a good middle, and a good end, and it generally has a really nice premise upon which it's built. The other thing is you've justified like each one of the moves. Anytime that like putting the ring in your pocket, you're going in to get a pen for some reason,
right.
And that's something that those details are really important for young magicians, especially. If you go and watch this again and again and again, and you should, think about how each moment is covered. You have a lot of things that you have to do, but you've got to use some overt action to kind of hide what's
exactly.
going on, You also said to me that the important thing for all magicians to know is that they should be moving forward in our art. And can you kind of explain a little bit about how you perceive the difference between moving backwards, staying in the same place, or moving forward?
Okay, as I said earlier, you cannot stay in the same place. If you think you're staying in the same place, you're not stagnating, you're moving backwards.
Yeah, because things are changing around
right.
you. We get improvements all the time and variations on
it's
things.
like this blind sight, I taught you tonight. I mean, I've showed you my improvements, which has happened over years and years.
Yeah.
And I haven't got all the details worked out yet, but I'm working on a new version. And listen, folks, if you like improved blind sight, which I taught you in a lecture tonight, that's a great routine. You can still do it. But I have a new version coming out later in the fall to where the 4 envelopes are in full view and each color is written visibly. When the person says red, you see a blank face, you write red visibly. When they say green, you write green. And there are no outs. At the end, they select the envelope. There's no force. Any envelope they want will have a selected piece of paper inside of it saying, you set this one aside. The other ones are all empty, and everything can be examined, and there is no gimmick pen. There are no gimmicks, period.
Now, it sounds impossible, but when I read the description for the original blind sight, it sounded impossible to me too, and it lived up to absolutely every one of the claims. So, if anybody can do it, you can do it. I'm anxious to when that comes out. I'll be
That'll
first
be
in
called
line.
Blind Sight Outdone. So
All right,
don't
awesome.
confuse it with Blind Sight Improved,
Yep.
Improved
Nope.
Blind Sight. This
Yep.
is the one I taught tonight.
I'm going to buy every version of blind sight you ever come up with.
And I just want to mention here. It's a bonus. A lot of people like my version of Blind Sight that's done with playing cards. It's called Poker Tales.
Yeah, right.
And what I did, folks, surprise, library.com has a PDF called Poker Tales. It tells you my poker tail routine based on Blind Sight. Guess what? It's in your download tonight as a free bonus.
Yeah,
I just threw it in.
Just gets better and better. Now, before we wrap up here, I'm just going to want to also talk about, beyond the fact that we have seen amazing mentalism, amazing magic, great methodology, you also are very versatile in other fields. You do some face painting. You know a lot about costume character work. You've written some things on that. You do a lot of publicity stunt work that you've written a lot of things on those. And most recently, I think you come up with the $1,000 a day. Is that right? $1,000 a day show
Yes,
plan?
actually, the people who, I know there are people in this room that bought the book and wished I wouldn't sell it anymore because they know the plan works. The one thing that you did not mention is that I do a lot of mentalism, but lately I am doing over 100. I say I do over 200 shows a year. I'm doing over 100 hypnotic shows.
Oh yeah, hypnosis.
I'm a comedy hypnotist.
I forgot
I have
as well.
a
Yeah.
darn good hypnotic show.
Yeah, cool.
And using the $1,000 a day plan, which involves using schools as fundraisers going through the back door, I'm booking over 100 hypnotic shows a year.
Yeah.
$1,000 a day using this exact plan, which the plan, it'll work for magic, but it works a lot better with hypnosis shows.
Yeah. And I know for a fact it's a great plan. I don't mind that everybody learns it because there's plenty of work out there. Work in your own markets, of course. Try not to be too competitive with people in your very same area. But it's really, really smart. People are always looking for ways to raise money, and if you can give them that solution, they're willing to allow you to be paid through the plan.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say here, because one criticism that I got on the cafe is that people said, "You're not telling people what it is." Well, I'm not giving all the details, but
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, this involves high schools.
Yeah.
It's a backdoor approach. It's a guaranteed way of getting $1,000 from a high school. You may find that hard to do unless you know my plan, but it works. It works, and there's people doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It does not work overseas, I found out, because the right situation is not,
Different structure in the educational system.
right.
So yeah.
But here in America, if you buy this plan, you will make $1,000 a day, and it's very easy to book, and it does work.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm doing it with my hypnotic show. I have over 100 shows, each year I'm doing based on this plan.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's well worth it, because let's say that you only put the plan into use and did it one show a week, right? You're still making a great living as a magician for $1,000 a week, which is not too bad, and it frees up the rest of your time, so you can still keep your walk-around gig. You can still take anything that you want to get through an agency. You can work whatever you're already working. So this can be supplemental, or it could be your entire income.
I just want to mention a side note here, because some people may find that, because you said face painting, Devin Knight face painting? I've got a hell of a website for face painting. But what brought this about was the fact that I used to be booked, and I still am booked a whole lot, for festivals and carnivals and things.
Mm-hmm.
And they want maybe 2 shows a day. Well, you do a show at like 11 o'clock in the morning and one at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. You're not going to leave. I mean, it's a rule, particularly if you're driving a couple hundred miles. And I said, I'm just sitting here all day long. So I said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell them my contract, because I'm a really good artist, and a lot of the graphics you see on my books and things are things that I've drawn, because I do a lot of my artwork and illustrations in my books and things. But I said, well, since I'm going to be here, I'm going to say my contract. I get a free booth for face painting. So I would set up, and I would charge $7, $8, $10 to do a face. And the thing about it, you know, and a lot of my mentalist friends say, well, that's prestigious. They say, and this is their put down. They say any clown can make balloons. You know, anyone can do that. But it takes, you know, talent and real skill to, you know, face painting.
Yeah.
So they say if you're sitting there and people say, oh, that's the magician or the illusionist, and they see this great face painting, I mean, it adds to your prestige. They say, wow, he's really talented.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. You know,
So it makes you money. You're not just sitting there doing nothing, waiting for your show. Like, you know, I'm bored.
exactly. What else are you doing for your in between? And if you are good at something that you can upsell in such a way, you definitely should.
That's exactly.
It, you know, makes perfect sense. I think we have learned so much from you that that I'm going to let you go.
We barely touched this.
And that's the thing. We have barely scratched the surface of everything that Devin Knight is about. But I think we've all gotten a great appreciation for the man's genius. Let's give him one last big round of applause. Thanks so much for joining us. Really had a great time hanging out with you. And thank you for supporting Live Magic.